City Classic. All the fun and pageantry of HBCU football is right here as two of the legendary black college schools square off for the 60th time. The football teams are rivals, the bands are rivals, and everyone from both sides desperately wants to win and a year's worth of bragging rights. It's Alcorn State and Jackson State next on CSTV. The two schools are just 90 miles apart, but when Alcorn State and Jackson State meet, you can throw the records out the window for this interstate rivalry in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to very chilly football nation here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium in Jackson. I am Jonathan Coachman, and today for Alcorn State, they come into the game 5-4, trying to have a fourth straight winning season under head coach Dr. Johnny Thomas. As for Jackson State, they are a program in disarray. Mid-season, head coach James Bell was let go. Interim head coach Daryl Jones is 0-2 since he took over. Jackson State has lost 6 straight games heading into their season finale here this afternoon. We'll bring in now my tag team partner, my partner in crime, 12-year Pro Bowl cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons. Big play, Ray Buchanan. And Ray, in a game like this, at the end of a season, this really tests the character for the players on the field.
Everything is going great when you're winning games. The attitudes are great. Players are having fun. But right now, testing the characters when you're having a losing season, speaking of Jackson State, that's when you find out who your real players are going to step up and what guys are going to lay it down. So we're going to find out today who's going to actually go out there and play.
Well, let's start with Alcorn State. When they get their offense going, they can go, and it starts with their running back, Jeremy McCoy.
Yeah, Jeremy McCoy, he's a great running back. This guy right here, he's from Dallas, Texas, went to Carter High School, one of the best high schools in the country. He leads the team and leads the SWAC with an average yards a game of 106. So this guy right here, he's the guy that's going to open up the game for him on the ground.
And what about their big play wide receiver, Charlie Spiller?
Well, this guy's Spiller right now, preseason All-American. He started every game at wide receiver. He's also the spark player on special teams. This guy had 5 catches, 183 yards versus Mississippi Valley State. And also, this kid put up some special teams plays, you know, of 100 yards return 2 times.
Hey, you did so much homework this week. I'm very proud of you. Now, for Jackson State, it's going to be their job to stop these two guys. Who's the big play guy for the Tigers?
Well, he's not Ray Lewis, but he's definitely trying to kiss close to doing it. Whenever you can get 23 tackles, you know, in one game, not 2 games, 23 tackles in one game, that got a lot to say for a player. He also had 98 tackles, 58 solo. So we'd like to see what this guy can do versus Jackson State.
Well, I want to see what everybody can do. We're just about ready to get started. You see the Tigers are ready. You can hear the band is ready. The fans are cold, but they're ready. We're ready too. Kickoff is next. Football Nation is brought to you by Budweiser Select. Finally, bold taste meets a clean finish. Expect everything. And by Russell Athletics. Log on to buyhbcu.com to see their exclusive selection of HBCU merchandise. Welcome back, everybody. We are live in Jackson, Mississippi, just about set for kickoff between Alcorn State and Jackson State, the season finale for Jackson State. And there you see Cletus Gordon, the all-everything for Jackson State. Unfortunately, he's been hurt a majority of the year. He will not play defense today, but he will be returning kicks. And back there with him, if you can believe it, is their starting quarterback, Keithon McLaren. So we'll see who gets the kickoff here, but a great crowd has assembled here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. And like we said, it's a bitter rivalry. The 60th time these two teams have met, and we're just about set. Alcorn State in their road whites will kick off. Jackson State in their own home purples. And a squib kick, they're not going to give Gordon a chance to return it. The up back gets it and is tackled immediately at the 26. So you see right there, they really had respect for Cletus Gordon.
Early on, they're showing a lot of respect. Whenever you can squib kick starting out in the game, that's letting everybody know that there's a big playmaker over there on the offensive side of the ball.
And now the Bud Select starting lineup. There you can see the redshirt sophomore kid McLaren for Jackson State. He has had an adequate year. He's been learning the offense, and they really think he's going to come into his own. And there you can see the backs and receivers, Davis, Kennebrew, Rogers, and Johnson. Kennebrew is really the guy that gets the job done for Jackson State, and Jackson State has a big offensive line they're going to need to really protect for their quarterback, McLaren. Very, very athletic. First play from scrimmage. He's going to roll to his left. He's going to keep it. He's going to cross the 27 up to the 28 and ran out of bounds right there. And while we got a second, Ray, we're going to take a look at the Bud Select defensive starting lineups for Alcorn State. And they've got some guys over there that can really get it done.
That's right, man. You know, it's going to be kind of fun to watch these guys play today. You know, they got their hands full.
Yeah, the linebackers, they are a great group. Mosley, Cooper, and Sullivan. And then you see the secondary, Bradford, Brown, and Sullivan across the back for Alcorn State. Those are your Bud Select starting lineups. And we're so pleased you could join us here this afternoon for this SWAC contest between Alcorn State and Jackson State. Second down and 9 from their own 27. And a handoff to the first back through. Up past the 31 to the 32. That is Kennebrew. Short gain of 3, maybe 4 yards. It'll bring him a long 3rd down and 7. Ray, early on, this is not a situation that Jackson State wants to be in at all.
Well, in this situation right here, it look like they're spreading the ball out right now. They're coming out in shotgun, and they're trying to open up the offense a little bit on the ground. By opening up the offense, they just finished running the draw play. The very first play, they rolled out to the left and didn't get many yards, but right now they find themselves in a situation where it's 3rd and 6.
There you see Darrell Jones, the interim head coach for Jackson State. As we mentioned off the top, 0-2 so far in his first 2 games, taking over from James Bell. Now 3rd and long, and McLaren's going to get wrapped up right there at the 31-yard line. Beautiful play by Alcorn State, so it's going to be 3 and out in their initial drive to start this game.
I tell you what, he didn't have anyone to throw the ball to. Everybody was covered. That was great coverage by Alcorn State.
And it's going to bring up a punting situation for Jackson State. Dominic Addison will punt for Jackson State.
Back deep to receive for Alcorn, number 87, Hubert Franklin.
Hubert Franklin, the return specialist for Alcorn State, is back standing at his own 29. And a high snap. Oh, and it gets blocked. Not a chance for Jackson State. And it's picked up and fallen on at the 11. So what a break. Just 2 minutes into this ball game. Jackson State has their punt blocked. Recovered there by number 40. That is Terrence Barnes. And Alcorn State, just like that, in business at the Jackson State 11.
Well, that was a big play right there. Starting out the game, this is a big play for Alcorn State. That was, as you can see right there, it was sort of like a high snap. And Alcorn State comes in and they block the kick, and there you have it. Big special teams play by Alcorn State, putting them in great position to score.
Right there coming through was number 27, Mario Hanna for Alcorn State. And right away, Alcorn State at the 11 of Jackson State. Quarterback Tony Hobson will hand it off to the second back through. That's Jeremy McCoy. We talked about him off the top as well. He's inside the 5 down to the 4. There is a flag down on the play. Before we get to the starting lineups, we'll see what that call is.
Well, that's not good. Once you see the holding call, I see everybody tugging on their jerseys. Jackson State trying to plead their case. Holding versus Alcorn State, but we'll see what it is.
Holding offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 1st down.
The holding call there on number 77, Darian Billups. Let's take a look at the Bud Select starting lineups, and there you see the redshirt freshman, Tony Hobson, 1,300 yards passing this year. Has done a very good job for Alcorn State. Spiller, Lott, Arsenault, Williams, and McCoy we talked about. And what a big offensive line. They average well over 300 pounds across the front. So obviously they got some beef up front to pass block and run block for Jeremy McCoy. So it's going to be 1st down and 20 from the Jackson State 21. McCoy goes in motion. 4 wide receivers and tosses out to McCoy, and I believe that was a lateral. We'll see what they call it. I believe they are actually going to call that a lateral, so that was a live ball. McCoy jumped on right away, a loss of 1. It'll bring up 2nd down and 21.
Well, Alcorn did the same thing. These guys come out and they spread the offense out, and they send McCoy in motion and set up a nice little screen play there to the left. McCoy just got to come up with the ball. Here he is. He drops the football there, and that's a lateral.
Well, it was thrown from the 24 back to the 24.5. So, yeah, obviously they're a good call by the officials down on the field. And you got to keep in mind, we are very, very high up here at Veterans Stadium. I mean, we were real high. So we've got the binoculars out. We're going to do the best that we can. But even with 20/20 vision, it's hard to see down onto the field. Now, there is a timeout on the field. Alcorn State wants to talk it over. A big break early. We'll see if they can capitalize. We're just getting started on Football Nation.
Best coaches.
What really matters is winning the Big 12.
Coach to coach every Tuesday through Saturday. Log on to CSTV.com for a complete schedule.
We are back live in Jackson, Mississippi just a few moments ago. A block punt after 3 and out for Jackson State sets up where we are right now. 2nd down and 23 for Alcorn State at the Jackson State 24 after a holding penalty. 11:32 to go here in the first quarter alongside Ray Buchanan. I am Jonathan Coachman, and we'll be here all afternoon long. The Dr. Johnny Thomas, we talked to him the other day. You talk about a guy who's very, very serious. That is what the head coach is like. Now Tony Hobson will roll to his right. He's got a man out there wide open, beautifully thrown and complete down there. It looked like it was complete to his wide receiver. Number 7 out there for Alcorn State is Maurice Rose.
This is a nice throw and catch. He looks like he's limping a little bit. This ball was sort of, thrown behind him. He was open, earlier. He rolls out there to the right. He throws the ball. Nice catch. Very nice catch there. And it looks like his knee got bent up.
Yeah, I think it got jacked up just a little bit. You can see right there, I'm nearly hyperextended it. Tony Hobson on the year, over 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns, is completing 45% of his passes on the year. Not bad for a redshirt sophomore from Jackson, Mississippi. I don't know how he got away from here in Jackson State, but he did. Went down the road to Alcorn State. 3rd down. Oh, and a miscommunication. Wide open going into the end zone again was Maurice Rose, and just seemed to let the ball go over his head. Incomplete. Is going to bring up a 4th down. Hobson can't believe what he's seeing.
Hobson turned around. It's like, man, turn around, look for the ball. It's a 3-step drop. You're wide open. The ball was there, and a little miscommunication, and it cost himself a touchdown.
Well, in for the field goal attempt is Jeremy Shea for Alcorn State. It's going to be a 27-yard attempt. Snap is good.
Wow.
The kick is up.
That was almost blocked,
and the
Coach.
kick is no good. So 2 falters in the kicking game by both teams. And so here, 10:40 to go in the first quarter, we are still scoreless. And Dr. Johnny Thomas is not happy, and I can't say that I blame him. A very easy field goal attempt from 27 yards.
Well, after you finish blocking the kick and you get yourself in a situation like that where you have an opportunity to score, once they missed the play, then now they're missing the field goal that actually put some points
well,
on the board.
I'm not so sure that
kick was almost blocked. I'm not so sure
that kick was not good. But the referees have obviously a closer look than we do, so Jackson State will take it over at their own 20. A wishbone backfield for the Tigers and 2 wide receivers. And the quarterback will keep it. And there's a up past the 25 to the 27. And now Terrence Matthews, the backup quarterback, who they think is a better runner than McLaren, is in at quarterback. And he gains 7 yards on 1st down. He'll bring up a 2nd down and 3.
I tell you what, Charleston Brown came up and delivered a blow. I mean, absolutely tried to take his head off. Matthews better get down. That was a good hit.
Well, Terrence Matthews, a senior, 6'1", 220 pounds from Beaumont, Texas. And you can see right away here in this second drive, Jackson State, Darrell Jones, they've decided to change things up, and now a fake to the up man. Actually, the up man will get it. Flags fly. We'll see what the call is. If it stands, it'll be a good enough for a 1st down, Jackson State.
They're coming out running the wishbone offense. Whenever you start to get a little bit of success running the football, encroachment on the defense. Well, whenever you get an opportunity to start running the football, and you're going to stick with something that works until the other team stops it. Let's wonder if they come out with a wishbone again here, Coach.
Well, offsides on Alcorn State.
Offside, defense, number 99. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
So, backup quarterback comes in, 2 plays, 12 yards, 1st down. So Jackson State has something going here, and really Jackson State is going to have to hold on to the ball, because as we've seen their last 6 games, they fall behind and they don't have an offense that they can really catch up with.
Well, you got to try to have a little bit more ground control, so they're going to try to run the ball, take a little pressure off Matthews in the game and throw on the football. Alcorn State right now have the advantage on defense.
Well, now Keithon McLaren back in at quarterback.
There we go.
So they're going to keep us on our toes. We can see that right away, and now he looks back to the left side. He's got one-on-one coverage. His receiver falls down, and now the defensive back cannot make the interception, and it was almost like a punt for number 8, Quentin Sullivan. He was all by himself, had all the time in the world, couldn't make the catch.
Well, he couldn't make the catch. I wonder why he couldn't make this catch, but as you see the rollout here, and the quarterback throws the ball, you see the wide receiver gets tripped up, he falls, and now the defender has the opportunity to make a big play, and that's why defensive backs play on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Ray, I never saw you drop a pass like that.
I took advantage of plays like that. Whenever you get an opportunity to intercept the ball, you got to make that play. I made those plays. It may help me go to the next level, baby.
2nd down and 10 from their own 32. Wishbone formation again for the Tigers. And again, backup quarterback is in there. This time they're going to go deep and well overthrown. And they keep rotating quarterbacks in. Terrence Matthews back in there that time. And it looks like when Terrence Matthews is in there, they run the wishbone formation. When McLaren's in there, they run him in the shotgun.
Well, they're throwing the football, I guess, to try to keep Alcorn on the back of their heels, and they laying the ball up. I guess they got a lot of confidence in Jamar Johnson. He was wide open, but the quarterback overthrew him. He looked like he was looking for the ball and couldn't find it.
Well, now Keithon McLaren back into the game. It almost appears like head coach Daryl Jones is sending the plays in with his quarterback. So it'll be 3rd down and 10, I formation from their own 32 for the Tigers, 9:17 remaining, first quarter. McLaren back, he gets out of the pocket. He's got a man open down there and just overthrows his receiver out there, Jeremy Handy. And a big hit put on that time by Charleston Brown in the defensive backfield for the Braves.
I tell you what, this play right here, as he rolls out, when you're throwing on the run, it's kind of hard to actually, you're not setting your feet, so you can't get an accurate throw. And I tell you, the wide receiver was saying, I'm not Manute Boat. You got to throw the ball just a little bit, shorter than that.
Well, back to receive the punt for Alcorn State is Hubert Franklin again. Now, you keep in mind the Jackson State first punt was blocked, and Alcorn State again rushes. And I don't know how they missed that one, but a horrible punt goes out the side of the punter's foot, and they're going to mark it out at the 49-yard line. But almost again, the punt was blocked, but Alcorn State will have tremendous field position for their second go at it. We're back on Football Nation.
Keeps going and going and going.
Enthusiasm. School spirit is a mantra of the day. Here at the Capital City Classic, the 60th time that these two teams have met, Alcorn State and Jackson State, 9-11. Left here, first quarter. Alcorn State takes over at their own 49 after another near blocked punt. And Jackson State's going to have to do something in their special teams, so this could be a long afternoon. Tony Hobson back behind center. 3 running backs, and the handoff will go back to Jeremy McCoy. He gets up to about midfield, maybe a gain of 1. Let's take a real quick look at the Bud Select starting defense for Jackson State. Colvin, Billups, Manigat, and Scott up front for the defensive line. I'm going to have to stop Jeremy McCoy. Linebackers Hartnett, Woods, and Lewis. And then the secondary, Brown, Smith, Dancy. We talked about him off the top, and Bozeman. And now a very, very unorthodox setup for Alcorn State.
Well, this can be very confusing right now. They're throwing a screen play.
Well, they throw it out to their wide receiver. That's Stiller. He's going to go inside the 45 down to the 42. And they have their entire offense, Ray, spread out over the course of the entire field.
That's something you got to prepare for on film. You film study, everybody goes and spread everything out. They try to start a confusion, but here, as you throw a little, just a little screen play out to the wide receiver, look like almost a little cowboy collar there that would be illegal in the NFL.
Yeah, the play went for 8 yards, good down to the 42-yard line of the Tigers. This is going to bring up a 3rd down and 1 for the Braves. So a full backfield, a trio of backs in the backfield for the Braves. And the Tigers may have jumped. No flag on the play. McCoy across the 40, inside the 40, down to the 37. And that'll be good for an Alcorn State first down.
Nice little off-tackle play. Follow his blocks, get as many yards you can. Good enough for the first down. McCoy's a big fella. He's a big boy.
8:07 and running here in this first quarter. A very good crowd has made it into the stadium. They were all tailgating outside and having a good time. Even though it's very, very cold. I thought it was supposed to be warm in Mississippi, but apparently not.
We're outside, baby.
Apparently not. We are braving the elements this afternoon. But now Tony Hobson is yelling at his receiver to get to the other side. And we'll see with the play clock winding down if they're going to be able to get this play off. They do. And an end around and inside the 40. Oh, what a beautiful play. The end around was to Oliver Bozeman, but look at the play on that for Jackson State. Number 53, John Thompson. Beautiful play coming up from his linebacker position.
Flag on the play.
For the Tigers of Jackson State.
There is a flag on the play. The indication is illegal motion against Alcorn State. Now, we'll see if they might decline this one because there was a loss of 2 on that play.
illegal shift, offense number 1. Penalty is declined, second down.
This is a nice little end around play here. But the thing is, you got to have one of the guys on the line of scrimmage, so they said illegal shift. So their play is wiped out.
Well, so far here early on, I know the coaches from Jackson State were worried about whether or not they would be able to come out, play with emotion, and play with a lot of heart. Here in the first half of this first quarter, they've done exactly that. Here's a swing out to the running back who was in the... Oh, there's a fumble on the play, but they're calling the running back down. They're calling the running back down, so the play is dead. And that was Michael Shepard, who was nearly standing out of bounds. He caught the pass, took it inside the 35 down to the 31, and they'll bring up a very manageable 3rd down and 4.
He puts a great move right here on Maurice Hardnett. Cornerback comes up, makes a great play. Of course, the ground can't cause a fumble. Everybody thought it was a fumble. I even thought it was a fumble from way up here, but it wasn't a fumble. The ground caused it.
Shepard is a sophomore running back, and they've got a lot of good athletes, good runners, and good wide receivers for Alcorn State. Now 3rd down and 4 for the Braves. Another big 3rd down conversion needed this time. They're going to run the shovel pass and a beautiful play call inside the 20, down to the 15, down to the 11, and that was Oliver Bozeman again. And this guy, they've used the 2 of the last 3 plays, and now Alcorn State knocking on the door again, down to the Jackson State 10.
That was a nice play by Bozeman. Nice cut, nice little shovel pass, play to keep Jackson State off balance. Great hit by Maurice Hardnett, but he didn't get there in time. And as you can see right here, right towards the end, Vincent Dancy comes up and delivers a nice little blow.
Tony Hobson, the quarterback, had great timing there, holding on to the ball just long enough to let the play develop. So now to bring up a 1st down and goal. The ball sits just inside or just at the Jackson State 10. I formation behind Hobson. McCoy is the deep back. The handoff does go to McCoy. He breaks to the outside. Oh, and another nice play. So far, the linebackers from Jackson State have been fantastic. Maurice Hardnett is there on the play.
Great play. They tried to run a little off-tackle play there towards the left, and the defense was ready for it. You know, Maurice didn't have anywhere to run.
Alcorn State coming off a very disappointing loss to Alabama A&M just 1 week ago, 28-21. Up until last week, they were still in the hunt for the SWAC East title. And still have a chance. I mean, a lot of things would have to happen. Still have a chance for a 3-way tie in the SWAC East. But like I said, a lot of things would have to happen for Alcorn State to get that. First things first, they'd have to win here this afternoon. Now Hobson keeps it, and he's got all kinds of guys out. He throws it into the end zone, and it's intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone by Jackson State, and there's your guy you talked about.
Vincent Dancy comes up with a big play there. Great play, because you know what? Alcorn right now, they're sitting in the red zone area to come in to punch it in, and Vincent come up with a great play. That was hot. That was nice.
So Alcorn State, a missed field goal, now an interception in the end zone. So we are still scoreless late in the first quarter with the interception in the end zone, turning Alcorn State away.
Well, they had a nice little rollout play, and the quarterback got to set his feet. If you don't set your feet and then you're throwing across the field, something bad's going to happen. Vincent Dancy made him pay for it.
Well, Jackson State takes over their own 20, and again, Terrence Matthews in at quarterback for the Tigers. Wishbone formation behind the very athletic quarterback, number 12. Keithon McLaren started the game, but both quarterbacks have been able to see some time so far. Handoff to the first back through. That's number 35, Kennebrew. He gets up past the 25 to the 27. He'll bring up a 2nd down and 3.
Coming out in that wishbone offense again. Until Alcorn stop it, they're going to keep running that play. Eventually, they're going to run. Next thing you know, the ball's going to be in the air. Play action pass. Set them up.
2nd down and 2 from their own 28. Matthews stays in at quarterback for the Tigers. Time winding down, 4:18 and counting here in the first quarter of the Capital City Classic. Handoff again to the first back through. That's Kennebrew. And so far, Alcorn State has not been able to stop it when Kennebrew gets the ball. He's up to the 35. It'll be a 1st down and 10. So, folks, Sunday, it's a full day of NCAA volleyball right here on CSTV. The AVCA Match of the Week actually brings you 3. That's right, 3 championship matches beginning at 3 Eastern with the Big East Championship from the University of Louisville. At 5, Conference USA takes center stage. And at 8, it's the Patriot League's turn. 3 matches, 3 bids to the NCAA tournament on the line Sunday on CSTV.
Well, They're coming out the same formation to see if they can stop it.
And now a handoff, flags fly, excuse me, try saying that twice. Kennebrew got the call again. I think it's going to be yet again offsides. There you go on Alcorn State.
Offside. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, that's the second time they've been offsides. They're shooting themselves in the foot. You know, the nose guard right here is lined up offsides. You need to back up maybe a couple inches.
And here people, you hear people ask the question all the time, how does a nose guard line up offsides? Well, there you go. We're still asking the question. We still don't know. Well, first down and 5 from their own 40 for Jackson State. McLaren back in at quarterback, and he's going to run to the right side, past the 40, up past the 45, out of bounds at the 47. A gain of about 3. And so far, this alternating quarterbacks has been working for the Tigers.
Got Alcorn on the back of their heels. They don't know if they're going to run. They don't know if they're going to pass. Jackson State is doing a real good job of mixing up their offense. They're coming out in multiple formations. But until Alcorn stop it, you know, they're going to keep running the same plays over and over again.
First down and 10 at their own 47 for Jackson State. Now Terrence Matthews back in at quarterback. So right now, I guess what they're doing, Jackson State is alternating quarterbacks. They're bringing the plays in. Whatever plays they decide to run, that's what quarterback gets to play. So no wonder Coach Darryl Jones was very vague on what they were going to do this week offensively. Didn't want to tell us a whole bunch. And now you can see why. And now a handoff to the first back through again. That's Kennebrew up to the 49, up to the 50. And when you look at it right now, Ray, Kennebrew's getting the ball play after play after play. Eventually, they're going to bust one around the end.
Yeah, eventually a big play is bound to happen. You try to set the other team up. When I mean keep them on the back of the heels, that means they're stirring up a little confusion on the defensive side of the ball. You know, defensive coordinator on Alcorn, you know, they try to get their plays in, and once they get their plays in, now they have to try to get the matchups. And you think about which quarterback is going to be in the game. They were having rotating quarterbacks. Sort of remind you of what Spurrier did with Florida, you know, having 2 different quarterbacks coming in and throwing the football.
First team timeout of the first half.
No timeout on the field. Jackson State takes a timeout. They have a second down and 7 at midfield. And so far early on, you got to say that the attitude, the enthusiasm, and the effort is certainly there for the Tigers.
Well, you got to come out and play every Saturday. No matter what, you got to give it your all. Everybody's counting on one another to come out there and try to get a victory. A victory is sweet. They don't remember the last time they actually won a football game, but if they can get a win here today, that'll knock out all the bitter taste in their mouth.
Well, Ray, I have a question for you.
I'm ready.
All right. Do you live for college football? CSTV All Access College Football is your ticket to all the action this season. You got to answer me. Listen to more than 800 live games and watch streaming press conferences, see exclusive athlete features, coaches shows, and more, all on your computer. CSTV All Access College Football is the best way to stay on top of every down. Log on to CSTV.com to subscribe.
Repeat that question.
Do you live for college football?
Yeah, I live for it. I love college football. College football is a lot of fun. It's pure. It's one of the games that's still pure. You think about politics, getting involved in sports, especially on the, you know, in the NFL.
Sure.
You know, it's so political, and nobody has no idea. But, you know, you just see us on Sunday having a good time. But, you know, there's a lot involved in the sport.
Well, second down and 8. And now a pitch back to the deep back coming around the end for Jackson State, and he is stuck there. That's number 38, Olandis Rogers. Gets down to about the 47, maybe the 46. It's going to bring up a third down and 4. And look at this stick, Ray.
Man, this is the big hit. He's coming around the corner here. Nice little pitch by Matthews. And that's perfect form. That's perfect, a perfect tackle there by Kent Bradford. That's Ken Bradford. I like that. Whenever you form up a guy like that, the running back will remember you the next time you come around that corner.
Certainly the running back was going nowhere after the initial hit. Third down and 4 from the 46. Again, wishbone formation for the Tigers. Matthews at quarterback. He hands off for the first back through, a fumble to the back, and now it's picked up and inside the 46. Oh, but stacked up right there. Picking up in the backfield again was Olandis Rogers, so it looked like the play was blown up. It was. For a second, it looked like Rogers had an opening, but then was stopped. It'll bring up a fourth down and 4, and an interesting decision for the Tigers.
Well, they lose the ball back in the backfield, but good job there by Lester Mosley by staying at home. By him staying at home gave them a chance, because if he wasn't there to stay at home to make this tackle, he would have been gone.
And I guess when you're 2-8, 2-6 in league play, you can go for it in this situation. You throw it all out the window. You say, hey, this is the last game of the year. We're going to get things done. So 4th down and 4. Shotgun. Back to McLaren, who's back in there. He's going to try the right side, but he's going nowhere. Stopped up at the 46. So it's going to be turned over on downs.
Coach, the pursuit was coming. The pursuit was coming. They held on and made the quarterback pay for it.
And the big play made out there by the big man, the big number 98, Robert Brown, the sophomore from Wiggins, Mississippi. And McLaren tried to get to the corner, couldn't get it done. And so Alcorn State, for the 3rd time, will have outstanding field position to start a drive.
Well, the coach had enough confidence in his players to get the job done. They didn't go out there and get it done on that play. To go forward on 4th at, midpoint, halfway through the football field, and a rollout play, everybody the gates were wide open. Nobody blocked.
Well, so far the Braves have had a multiple formations and have really been confusing Jackson State, but have not been able to score as of yet. Incomplete out there, intended for his wide receiver, number 7, Maurice Rose. And Hobson so far has been good, but Ray, once the Braves have got down inside the 20, they've stopped themselves.
Yeah, they stopped themselves. They shoot themselves in the foot. They have opportunity to score, and they just don't punch it in or even at least come away with the field goal. As you can see right there on that play right there, he rolled out there to the right. Quarterback at least has to set his feet. Michael Vick, one of the best quarterbacks in the game, he can throw the ball on the run very good. But, at this level, Hobson got to set his feet, then throw the ball.
Hobson now 2nd down and 10. We were inside of 1 minute to play. A lateral back. And looked like Bozeman was going to try and throw that. Instead, he decides to run it. And Bozeman, who has been very, very active here in this first quarter, takes it up to midfield. They're going to mark him out actually at the 49, a gain of about 4 yards. So with about a half a minute to play, we've got a 3rd down and 6 for the Braves.
Well, here it is. They tried a little trickery. They throw a little lateral back to the wide receiver there. He decides that he's going to run the football. Oliver Bozeman said, forget about it. There's nobody open. Cletus Gordon did a real good job in coverage by covering the wide receiver down the football field. So he didn't have anybody to throw to, so he just tucked it and ran.
There you see Coach Johnny Thomas, big time into this game, as he always is from what I've been told. Now a pitch back to the backfield, trying to sweep to the right, and Jackson State is having none of it. Having none of it at all. Michael Shepard trying the right side, but the entire left side of the Jackson State defense was there, and they stopped the Braves on 3rd down. They'll bring up a punt situation, but that will probably be the last play of this first quarter.
That was a big play, big hit. I like that by Mr. Jones. Big hit. So look, I guess, Jackson State, that's probably why the coach went for it there, Coach.
Well, I think so.
Because he believed in his defense.
Well, that is going to be the last play of this first quarter. A scoreless first quarter. Jackson State, their defense has bent, but they have not broken as of yet. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of school spirit here in the SWAC. We are scoreless on Football Nation. It's Alcorn State and Jackson State. The start of the second quarter when we come back. Zip as we start the second quarter here in the Capital City Classic. The Braves from Alcorn State will be punting. Shane Phillips will punt to return specialist Cletus Gordon, who stands back at his own 15. Snap is good, and the kick is off, a low kick. End over end, bounces at the 22. Cletus Gordon will not have a chance to return it, although I think it may have touched his right foot, and it did. Maybe one of the dumbest plays you're ever going to see. Cletus Gordon, as the ball was rolling dead, went over, stood beside it. It touched his right foot. Alcorn State falls on it. Now Alcorn State has the ball at Jackson State's 15.
I've never seen that in a football game ever. I've seen a guy accidentally get up there and hit a ball, but Cletus sat up there and put his foot on the ball. Actually, he looked like he did it on purpose.
That may be one of the silliest things I've ever seen from a return guy. I mean, it's one thing to catch a punt at the 2 or 3 and get tackled, but to just stand there and let the ball touch you, and then it was recovered by Alcorn State, Ashton Burton. So now 1st down and 10 at the 15, and again, a Jackson State mistake. Can Alcorn State capitalize?
That's right. One of the reasons why they're 2-8. You make mistakes like that. That's something that you can't coach.
Hobson behind center. He's going to roll to the right. He's got a couple of receivers out there. He's going to look. He throws short. And that's Spiller, a very, very nice catch down inside the 8 at the 7. And so far, Spiller has looked very, very good. Hobson's starting to settle in. So now it's 2nd down and 4 inside of the 10.
Nice little rollout play there to the right. Nice catch. So nice little throw and catch. Spiller, nice hands. Look at the soft hands.
Well, Spiller is their all-everything wide receiver, all SWAC, potential All-American Division I AA, and so far today he's made a couple of nice catches. So now wishbone formation. They're going to hand it off to Shepard. He comes through. He gets racked, but he bounces off one tackler, and he falls down to the 6, maybe to the 5. We'll see where they spot the ball. It may be good enough for a 1st and goal.
From up here, it looked like that was Quentin Scott that put a nice little blow. Who is that? That is, that's Tyrus Washington. Nice hit. That was a nice hit.
Tyrus Washington, the big lineman for Jackson State. And right now they're going to bring the chains in to measure and see if indeed it is good for a 1st down. But while we have a chance, getting back to the play we just saw a moment ago. I know everybody's probably sitting home going, what in the world was he thinking about? So Ray, tell me, what in the world was Cletus Gordon? I mean, a guy, a veteran guy, an all-star for these guys. What was he thinking about?
Well, the only thing I can try to give him an excuse for, he probably, usually when the opposing team is coming down the football field, after they finish kicking it, if they touch the ball, you have an opportunity to go down there and get the ball, and you can fumble it and you can get the ball back. In that case, Alcorn didn't touch the ball.
Well, you can see Cletus Gordon still down there.
Pleading his case.
Talking about it.
Guilty.
Trying to explain what he was doing. And he wasn't going to play too much, they said, on defense today, but he is in there. The 6'2", 200-pound senior from Amity, Louisiana.
I don't know what he's going to do. He got to make up something.
Yeah, probably had to put him in and say, listen, you got to do something right.
Yeah, you got to do something right.
Well, here we go. 1st down and goal for the Braves. And they hand off to the 3rd back through. That's McCoy. And Jackson State was ready for 5 Tigers there to stop him at the 5. No gain. It'll bring up a 2nd down and goal.
If they can hold this team to a field goal after making a play like they just finished having a mistake, they can be happy with that.
Washington leading the charge again for the Tigers, and we've seen it for the 3rd time in a row, actually 3rd out of 4 times. Alcorn State has got inside the 15, inside the 10. The Tigers have not allowed Alcorn State to score. Can they stop them here? We're still scoreless, just getting started here in this 2nd quarter. Now a single back in the backfield is McCoy, and they're going to fake the handoff to him, and they're going to go the quarterback by himself. Hobson breaks a couple of tackles, and he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Braves.
Well, Coach Darryl Jones right now he should be upset. You got to try to build the morale up a little bit.
Well, Hobson was stopped in the backfield. Look at it one more time. There were 2 Jackson State defenders there. Just runs through both tackles. It was Cletus Gordon. Cletus Gordon was in the backfield, so not a good couple of minutes for the senior standout from Jackson State.
He owes his team and his teammates. He had an opportunity right there to block the kick. Right now, he probably just need to get to the sideline, try to regroup. It can get kind of frustrating when you let your teammates down and when you make a mistake, when you fumble the ball, and if something like that happens to you, you got to try to regroup.
Well, the redshirt freshman Hobson breaks the scoring drought here in the 2nd quarter. The Braves go on top by 7. We're back on CSTV. First touchdown of the day. Alcorn State leads 7-0. 12:56 to go here in the 2nd quarter of the Capital City Classic. Back to receive the kickoff for the Tigers is not Cletus Gordon. It will be Carlton Brown, McKeese McGinty. Double M. And again, a squib kick will be taken by the up man at the 25. Up to about the 32. And bringing a couple of tackles taken down at the 35. That was number 86 for the Tigers, Jordan Beard. So the Tigers will take over at their own 35. Let's go back to the touchdown, Ray.
We got to...
Well, you saw it earlier. We'll actually tell you the botched punt. Cletus Gordon was back to return the punt. It was rolling dead, and then you'll see right here just a bonehead play.
Yeah, you can't make these mistakes. He thought the other player was going to touch the ball, and that's why he reached down, but the ball got too close to his foot, and Hobbs in the game make him pay for it right here. Now they got to just go back out there on the football field and try to raise the roof.
Yeah,
they got to raise the enthusiasm. The morale's down. You have a losing season like this, and plays like that happen against you. Somebody got to make a big play to try to make everybody forget about it.
Well, now Terrence Matthews back in at quarterback for Jackson State. He's back to pass, and he's being rushed, and he's going to be taken down taken down back in the backfield by Alcorn State. Two guys were back there. Number 58, Martin Jackson, led the charge for Alcorn State.
That was a great play right here. He had nowhere to go. No blocking. As you can see, number 49, Antonio Cooper, got in the backfield first just to stir up a lot of confusion in the backfield, and he had nowhere to go. All he can do is just eat the football.
Yeah, Jackson and Cooper, he's going to be credited for a half a sack there. It's a loss of about 8 yards. It's going to bring up a second down and very long back to their own 28. Now 4 wide receivers in the game for the Tigers. And McLaren now back in at quarterback. A tip ball, but still caught out there. Beautifully done. Flags fly. And on the catch out there for Jackson State was David Kennebrew. We'll see if the play stands, though. It was up past the 35 to about the 38, and Alcorn State is indicating that it's going to be against Jackson State.
It was nice catch, nice concentration by Kennebrew. Caught a little one-handed catch in the backfield. Because the ball was tipped. The ball was tipped in the air at the line of scrimmage.
Holding offense, number 86, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, still first down.
As you can see, now we're getting penalties.
Well, you know, when we were talking to the coaches earlier this week, and they talked about the penalties, they talked about the mistakes. And like you said, when you're a 2-8 ball club, obviously you're making a lot of mistakes. You're making a lot of penalties. And so far here in the first quarter, in about 3 minutes, Jackson State has done just that. Block punts, penalties, holding penalties. And so now move back another 10 yards. It's second down and a country mile. It's a good thing we're in Mississippi at their own 18. McLaren's still in there. He's looking. He's got a couple guys out there. Beautiful throw and completion. And stepping out at the 35 for Jackson State was number 80, Randall Ward. And a beautiful throw, easily the best throw of the afternoon by McLaren.
I think that was a great throw by McLaren, throwing all the way across the football field. Wide receivers, Randall Ward, and the rest of the game just went up there and tried to get up near the sticks, turned around at about 18 yards or so, and it was a nice throw and a nice throw and catch.
So it makes it more of a manageable third down and 11 for the Tigers. 4 wide receivers at their own 34-yard line. McLaren back to pass again. He's got a lot of room to run. Nice move. Past the 40, up past the 45, up to the 48. A beautiful juke and jive move, and McLaren's loving it. So is the crowd. First down at 10. And I tell you what, after second down and 30-some, they somehow managed to get a first down up near midfield.
And there was a late flag thrown way back in the, maybe on the 40-yard line or so. Let's find out what this flag was. This would be very unfortunate after having 2 good plays in a row and have a flag turn around and have you back up the play. This can be kind of horrible.
Personal foul, number 72 of the offense. 15-yard penalty, still third down.
Wow, that personal foul during the play. So the first down is negated. Albert Stinson is the guilty party. And you hate to start harping on a point, but right now Jackson State continues to shoot themselves in the foot, had a first down up near midfield. Instead, they get 15 yards marked off against them. So it'll be third down and very long from their own 26. They have to get all the way up to their own 45 to get a first down.
Coach Darryl Jones right now, you know, he's really upset with his players. You know, it's bad enough trying to win football games, but when you start to make mistakes.
And a double end around, and this thing looks like it's going to get just blown up, and it does. McLaren taken down all the way back at its 5-yard line. And what a play, and it absolutely went nowhere. Quentin Sullivan, the defensive cornerback for Alcorn State, a little trickeration. And it didn't work at all the way back to the 5. And I tell you what, it is fourth down and 40.
Well, you really didn't give yourself a chance when you have 3 people touch the ball before you actually get the ball off. Eventually, the defense is going to get to you. And that's what ended up happening to these guys. Now, they're sitting in a situation that's 4th and forever.
Well, now punting situation for Jackson State. And they do get this punt off. And Franklin's back there to receive. He takes it at the Jackson State 45 inside the 40. And there he's going to be wrapped up at the 38. So again, Alcorn State, for the 5th straight time, will have outstanding field position as they try to go up by 2 scores.
Well, you know, They had 2 great plays in a row, and then you get 1 flag. Then you get another flag. Now you're trying some trickery just to try to make something happen, and now you get 4th and forever. Everything's going Alcorn's way right now. The momentum is definitely swinging in Alcorn's favor. And Jackson State, Darryl Jones, got to get on his players and try to play a little bit more disciplined football to try to get themselves back into the game.
Yeah, the young quarterback Hobson now has got to have a lot of confidence. He's got to feel very good about himself as he starts 1st down and 10. And now they're going to go flea flicker, and they're going to go short, and it's going to be intercepted and taken back the other way to the 45, to the 50, inside the 40. Great block down there by Jackson State, and it looks like it's going to go all the way to the house. Oh!
Nice play.
What a great play by Tony Hobson, but the interception by Marcus Smith, number 30, taken all the way inside of Alcorn State's 15, but a touchdown saving tackle by the freshman quarterback Hobson. The mistake was not his, the ball was tipped, but what a hustle play by the young quarterback.
Well, they run a little flea flicker here, trying to make something happen. The ball was tipped. Great play by Hobbs, tipping the ball.
Marcus Smith, absolutely.
Looked like Cletus Gordon won.
Fantastic, and for all the mistakes, for all the penalties, Jackson State just like that in position to tie this ball game up.
And this is what we was talking about, Coach. They needed a big play to get the morale going.
And right now, that's Matthews in there at quarterback. He keeps it. I thought he had handed it off to Kennebrew, but he kept it himself inside the 5, down to the 2, and all of a sudden this crowd that had been taken completely out of the ball game now is back into it, and it'll be a 1st down and goal at the 2.
That was a good tip by Tavares Jones, setting at the interception. Now Jackson State, this is the momentum that they needed. We talking about the fans getting into it. Right now they all standing on their feet, they hyped up. This can wipe out all the mistakes that happened on earlier.
Well, 1st down and goal, and now whistles blow. And it looks like there is a timeout on the field.
Timeout, Alcorn State.
Well, Alcorn State has been stunned. They had fantastic field position inside of Jackson State's 40. But a flea flicker interception, and this game has been turned on its head. Timeout on the field. We're going to take one, too. Alcorn State on top by 7, but for how long? Trivia question: how can you get a 2005 Aflac Holiday Duck and fight pediatric cancer? Find out at Aflac.com for details. I can tell you that the sales of the Aflac Holiday Ducks have raised over $850,000 to fight pediatric cancer. Well, while you're thinking about that, we're going back to the field. 1st down and goal for the Tigers. Jackson State at the Alcorn State 2-yard line. Terrence Matthews under center. He's going to hand it off to the second back through. That's Kennebrew. He's going to be stacked up there by number 97. That's big Orrin Long. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and goal, maybe a loss of a half a yard back to the 3.
Orrin Long was in the backfield fast and in a hurry. I mean, he busted up that play real quick. Kennebrew didn't have a chance. Whenever you get in the backfield that fast, you can stir up a lot of
9:04, 9:03 and counting. Here in the 2nd quarter, Jackson State held scoreless to this point, but this has been their deepest penetration in this ball game.
They got to come away with the score here, Coach.
And again, Kennebrew is the deep back in the backfield. He will get it going around the left side. Oh, beautiful blocking, and he leaps into the end zone. Touchdown, Jackson State.
I'll tell you what, that was some great blocking by Kenneth Davis. Right now, the crowd right now is getting amped. This is what they needed. All those bad plays that happened against them earlier are wiped out. This is what I'm talking about. Now we're playing football. Now they're giving themselves a chance.
David Kennebrew's 8th touchdown on the year, and that one looked pretty easy. He leaped over a couple of the defenders, really showed a lot of effort, a lot of heart. It's 7-6 pending this extra point. Asher Ashley in for the extra point for Jackson State. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and the kick is good as well. Well, Jackson State, just like that, turns the game around. Kennebrew scores. The game is tied on Football Nation. 7 for Jackson State, and now let's take a look at the Xbox Live Big Play Replay.
Yeah.
And David Kennebrew's 3-yard touchdown ties the game up for Jackson State. And right now, let's take a look at the Xbox Live Big Play Replay, and it was the interception by Marcus Smith.
I tell you what, Tavares Jones ended up tipping this ball off of this flea flicker by Hobbs. Hobbs throws the ball. Ball is tipped. And Mr. Marcus Smith returns the football all the way inside the 10-yard line.
That was the key play, and then just a few plays later, David Kennebrew, the big running back from Jackson State, took it over from 3 yards out, and we are tied up at 7. Here's the kickoff. Hubert Franklin back for Alcorn State. He'll take it at his own 3, and he'll try the right side this time. He gets around the corner, and he's up the sideline past the 35 up to the 37. A very nice return for actually that was Spiller back there for Alcorn State. And he takes it past the 37, and that'll be first down and 10 for Alcorn State. And you got to think right now that the Braves have got to be a little bit stunned at the recent turn of events.
Well, you know, the momentum clearly swung into the other hand's favor, which is Jackson State now. If it wasn't for Carlton Brown on that kickoff return right there, it would have been another big play by Alcorn State. By Spiller. Spiller got around that corner. He turned on the boosters.
Well, we'll see how the young quarterback Hobson responds to the interception he threw just a few moments ago. He's going to hand it off to McCoy, who tries the right side. He had a big hole past the 40 up to about the 44. Good gain on first down of about 6 yards. It'll bring up a second down and 4.
That was great blocking. Little pitch play to McCoy. McCoy he could pick and choose what hole he wanted to run through there.
You know, it's funny when we talked to Coach Thomas earlier this week, we said, oh, your guys are so big, 320, 330, 340. He goes, well, there's a lot of teams in the conference that are much bigger than we are. It was like, if that's the case, I don't want to be at that training table.
Where's the beef?
Second down and 4, I formation, and we'll see what that call was. An a Jackson State defender jumped off sides. We'll see if he was drawn off sides. Big number 77 for Jackson State, Darian Billups, was in the neutral zone.
Friday snap, false start. Offense number 35. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
We're going a false start on Ken Williams on the offense of Alcorn State, so that'll back him up 5. Back to the 39, and it'll make it a second down and 9 now instead of second and 4.
Ken Williams is a big fella. This guy is 5'10", 286 pounds, fullback. Wow, you're talking about where's the beef? It's in the backfield.
Well, now the sun has come out on the field at least, so at least the players are, yeah, you can say he hasn't missed a meal or two. Ever.
It's a big fella.
I formation at their own 39 for the Braves. Bright sunshine now on the field, so that's got to help them down there, and now it's just stuffed at the line of scrimmage was McCoy. And a beautiful, beautiful defensive play right there by Jackson State, Quinton Scott.
That was a good play. He got in the backfield fairly fast. Nice little blitz play. He's amped. He's fired up, trying to get that Jackson State defense fired up because the momentum still is clearly in Jackson State's favor. If they can get the ball back again, you know, try to get the momentum swing up in their favor, then they can score.
Now Scott was upset that he had to come out of the game, and you can't blame him. You want to have a kid excited to play, wanting to stay in the ball game, especially in a season finale. This is Jackson State's last game on their 2005 schedule. So now a third down and 9 for Alcorn State. Hobson from the shotgun. He's got a man across the middle, and that's Spiller. And Spiller was wide open. He takes it across midfield inside of Jackson State territory. It'll be a first down and 10 at the Jackson State 47.
Nice play set up. You had a Trips left shotgun. Spiller just comes underneath. Didn't get really chucked there by Tavares Jones. Tavares Jones should have hit the guy just to knock him off balance a little bit.
You got to wonder with Spiller with such a reputation how he gets that wide open, but he did. First down, nice pitch and catch for Alcorn State. Clock is running. We're inside of 7 minutes, tied up at 7. Handoff to the back through the backfield. That's McCoy again, and so far here in this first half, McCoy has been bottled up very, very nicely on the play that time for Jackson State, Cletus Gordon.
Defensively, Jackson State is playing some real good football, sound football, playing deep. As long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot with penalties, they right now playing some pretty good disciplined football. That was a nice little off-counter play to the right. That play right there can confuse you, get everybody momentum moving there towards the right, but the off-counter play coming back to their left, they stayed at home and made a good play.
Second down and 9 for the Braves. Fake the handoff to McCoy. Hobbs is going to roll to his left, and a beautiful throw down there and completion to his wide receiver, Tabari Lott. And Lott's inside the 25 and down. They're going to mark him down at the 24. A great fake, and Hobson, a very nice throw, and Lott was wide open.
Well, they've been setting it up. Alcorn State, Johnny Thomas been setting these guys up. You know, with that same play, they've been running the ball, and now they do a little play-action pass this way to get the defense off balance, and the wide receiver sitting wide open.
Lots of big guys, 6'6", 225 at the wide receiver position, and now McCoy, a big hole straight up the middle. He takes it inside the 20, down to the 19, and a gain of 9 on first down. And right now, that big offensive line from Alcorn State is making big-time holes, and McCoy is starting to get through those holes.
Well, when you start to get the defense on the back of their heels with the running game, it opens up the passing game, and then you go back to the running game. Jackson State right now is clearly confused. They need to try to regroup, try to find a play that works defensively, and try to get this Alcorn State offense back on the sideline.
5 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, two great bands. Here, Alcorn State and Jackson State, you'll get to see them, the battle of the bands. And now, Jeremy McCoy wide open on the shovel pass, and he's going to take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Alcorn State.
Nice play. That was a nice play. I mean, Hobbs really got hammered on that shovel pass. He paid for it, but long as they scored, it doesn't hurt as bad once he gets to the sideline.
Well, you tell that to Tony Hobson right now, but again, holding on to the ball till just at the last moment and just absolutely punished by Maurice Hartnett. And I doubt Hobson even saw McCoy score, but he heard the crowd. It's good for an 18-yard touchdown. And Alcorn State, just like that, is back on top of the Tigers.
They put together a beautiful drive. Jackson State had no idea what Alcorn was doing. On that shovel pass right there, Hobbs was probably sitting back saying, hey, you better score it after I took that blow. I took one for the team, baby.
Well, McCoy better go back and thank Hobson, because Hobson took a brutal sternum shot right there. And McCoy, because of the fact that that Hartnett was coming in, nobody was there on the left side of the defense, and McCoy just strolled in for the 18-yard touchdown, and Alcorn State now up 14-7.
Now you see the momentum clearly swinging in Alcorn's favor now. McCoy, great play. We've been talking about this guy all day. He's finally came through and made a big play for him. I tell you what.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I'm very, very impressed with the young quarterback from Alcorn State, Tony Hobson. You know, we saw his numbers, we saw what he's been doing, but as a redshirt freshman, he has shown me now as they head into next year. They got one more game against Grambling State on December 3rd, but as you head into next year, you got to feel very comfortable with Hobson at the quarterback position.
Well, at 5-4, and if they can get a victory here today, you know, coming in towards the end of the season, you start to build up some confidence in your players, and he's a young player. Hobbs is a young player, and he got a future, and he's looking pretty good right now out there on the football field. All you got to do is keep creating and getting great players around him, you know, at the wide receiver position, at the running back position. Give him more options to throw the ball to.
Again, another short kickoff. The squib kick is the method of the day, taken by the up back for Jackson State. I believe that was Jordan Beard again, up past the 35, and so far they've done that every single time on the kickoff. I don't know how smart that is, because Jackson State has gotten it, and now there's a tussle at the bottom of the pile. We'll see what this is all about.
And when you start squib kicking, I wonder about that too, Coach. You're not giving your team
Cletus Gordon is no longer back as a return guy. Obviously, either being punished or Coach Darrell Jones just isn't comfortable with the senior back there. But squib kicking it, I've never quite understood that, because now they got first down and 10 at the 38, and you got to wonder if you kick it off deep if they're going to get back that far. But that's why we're up here, not down there. We just call the action.
Well, they've given Jackson State great field position every time they squib the ball. Eventually, they're going to get a nice little return out of the deal. But instead of, like you're saying, now they're sitting at the 38-yard line, they could have had the ball back at the 20-yard line.
And now Keithon McLaren back in at quarterback for Jackson State. He's back to pass. He loses the ball, and I believe it was fallen on by a Jackson State offensive lineman, and it was. Back there was Demetric Dunn, and it looked like McLaren just lost his footing, dropped the ball. It's going to be a loss of 8 yards. It'll bring up a second down and 18. Let's take a look at that one more time.
Well, as he dropped back here, looked like he loses footing. His right foot slipped, but he put the ball on the ground too, and almost hurt himself.
Well, stretched himself back, no doubt about that. So all the way back now inside of their own 30, Jackson State who has had a myriad of penalties and mistakes here in this first half, but yet, despite all of that, they only trail by 7 as the clock winds down here in this first half. Now 4 wide receivers, single back from the shotgun, and now Terrence Matthews is back there and completely overthrows. They were going for the wide receiver screen. It was intended out there for Byron Johnson, but Matthews just completely overthrew Johnson. It's going to bring up a long 3rd down play.
I'm sorry to crack a joke on you, Terrence Matthews, but
oh, go ahead.
Hey, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar couldn't catch that ball. He really clearly overthrew him. He's like, my bag, my bag. My bag meaning, I'm sorry, talking to his fellow teammate, and you overthrow a guy that wide open.
Well, now a long 3rd down play from just inside of their own 30. Matthews still in there at quarterback, 4 wide receivers. Last time they had a long 3rd down play, they did convert, but there was a penalty. What a shock. And now, going for the shovel pass, kind of an unorthodox way of running it. Oh, but now the wide receiver from Jackson State, what a dumb play. Jeremy Handy was stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain, was pushed back, and then threw the football at the defender. So you had another 15 yards, you back them up, and Jackson State will still have to punt the football.
Well, you're shooting yourselves in the foot so many times out there, having so many bonehead mistakes, meaning by the, having crazy penalties out there. It's just, this is, I feel sorry for the coach.
Coach Daryl Jones, just the frustration.
On the offense, number 17, 15-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, that was a great play by, Robert Brown getting in the backfield. Then I guess, the wide receiver sit there and he got frustrated. Now he thought about what he did afterwards, and now he wanted to say, I'm sorry. How can you say I'm sorry to your teammates after that?
Handy knew that he had made a mistake. It was obvious once he did it that he knew he had made the mistake, but you just can't let that happen. Well, now Jackson State will punt away. Hubert Franklin will take the punt at his own 47. He eludes a couple of tacklers and will be taken down inside of the 50, so Alcorn State will start yet again inside of Jackson State territory.
Penalty after penalty after penalty. I mean, it's hard enough trying to go out there and you're playing against your opponent, but now you're playing against your own teammates and playing against the referees too. You're really not giving yourself a chance to win this football game.
I wonder if Daryl Jones, who was a standout running back for Jackson State from 1985 to 1988, you wonder if he ever, right now the frustration when you're a former player and a standout player and a star player, you want your players to live up to how good you were. And now the handoff again to the big guy coming through the backfield. And right now, Jeremy McCoy is absolutely running downhill on Jackson State. Good for 10 yards and another Alcorn State first down.
Alcorn State is doing what they want to out there on the football field. It's lining up in shotgun, handing the ball off. Nice little draw play to McCoy. Holes are gaping wide open. Wide open. So McCoy is having a field day now.
And now Alcorn State's going to go with their hurry up as the clock winds inside of 3 minutes. Jeremy McCoy still on his feet. Nice moves inside the 25 and taken down at the 23. But again, another big hole for Jeremy McCoy.
The only way to stop a draw play from a shotgun is to start to blitz your linebackers. That way every gap is closed off. Right now, there's a lot of confusion. You got to hand it to the offensive line for Alcorn State. They're getting up the football field, and they're getting their hands on the linebackers, pushing everybody back. And now the defensive backs got to come up to try to make the tackles.
Now Tony Hobson behind center for the Braves. He'll hand off again to McCoy. This time he has stood up at the line of scrimmage. Coming up from the defensive backfield for Jackson State was Vincent Dancy. No gain on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 and just inside the 25.
Little Dancy coming up to make a big play. They need to blitz the linebackers, blitz the safeties, put a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. By blitzing, you can put pressure on the quarterback and you can fill every gap to try to stop the run. Now, where it comes the problem is with the corners. Now you're leaving your corners out there on Gilligan's Island. Now you put pressure on them to make a play.
Well, I'll tell you what, who is ready? The bands are ready for halftime.
Yeah.
The Sonic Boom Band is ready. Both ends are ready. Hobson's ready. And he overthrows his wide receiver, Spiller, who had broken open over the middle.
Well, you had him open there, Coach. That would have been another great play. A nice little hookup between Hobson and Spiller.
Well, don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Church's Battle of the Bands. And it's going to be something you will not want to miss. These two bands from Jackson State and Alcorn State, they flat out can get after it.
I want to see the band. I came here not only to come in and color commentate this game, but I wanted to see the band.
You want to see the game, you want to see the band. You wanted to eat the barbecue. So far, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, and we'll see the third at halftime. So you're all good, Ray. Don't even worry about it. Third down and 10 from just inside the 25. Hobson goes back to pass. He's going to look to the other side, and he's got his big fullback out there inside the 25, down to the 20, down to the 18. It'll be short of a first down, though, but it was complete to big number 33, Michael Shepard. Ran out of bounds at the 17 inside of 2 minutes. Interesting decision for Alcorn State. It'll be a 4th down and 3 from the from just about the 17-yard line.
If you're Jackson State, how can you prepare for these many formations, this many plays? I tell you what, Johnny Thomas got these boys ready to come out here and play.
Jackson State is lucky, Ray, that they're not down more than 14-7, but a big 4th down play for the Jackson State defense. Hobson behind center, and he's going to roll to his left. He's got a wide receiver out there wide open, but we'll see where they mark the ball down at. Spiller with the reception. I think where they mark him at, it's going to be good enough for a first down.
Carlton Brown came up and made a nice play, but did he get him in time enough to prevent the first down?
We'll see. It's going to be a matter of inches. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go out on a limb. They had to get to just outside of the 19 where the ball is landed, or where they spotted the ball, excuse me, is just at the 19. So I don't know. I mean, when you look at it in slow-mo, great job, guys. Way to stop it there.
I don't know if he made this or not.
I'm telling you, by inches. Don't ever doubt me, Ray. By inches.
That's good enough to get the job done, baby. That's good enough to get the job done.
Well, Jackson State, a nice play defensively, but Alcorn State had the right play called. The right guy got the ball, and it was just enough for a first down. So now with 1:53 to go here in this second quarter, Alcorn State knocking on the door again, and Jackson State desperately needs another stop.
They're doing everything they want to do offensively. Run the ball. Hobson is actually throwing the ball well. They're doing everything they want to do. Run the ball, pass the ball. And Jackson State right now clearly on the back of the heels, not knowing what to do. They can't stop them right now. They got to try to find some type of momentum to do it.
Well, don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Church's Battle of the Bands between the Sonic Boom Band and also from Jackson State and Alcorn State. And also we'll have complete first half statistics and highlights from a lot of highlights here in this first half. Not all pretty ones, but a lot of highlights to say the least. Well, 108 and counting.
I wonder if they'll show highlights of all the bad plays that actually happened.
Well, you got to show something. Well, now a Jackson State defender jumped off sides but may have gotten back. No flags fly. McCoy takes it inside the 10 down to about the 9. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Clock continues to run, 50 seconds and counting here in this second quarter.
Well, if they can hold this team to a field goal, we got 40-some-odd seconds left in the game. They can hold this team to a field goal or even possibly get a turnover. That'd be great for Jackson State. But if not, to be down 21-7 going into the half, your morale is down. Anything can happen in college football. We've seen it so many different times where a team can come back in a game from being down 21 points, 24 points, and make something happen. But
big 3rd down play. They're going to hand it off to the big fullback, Shepard. He bangs inside the 8 down to about the 7. And now Alcorn State is going to call a timeout. 14 seconds to go here in this second quarter, and they're going to attempt a field goal. And I don't know how good of clock management that really was when they let the clock run down. They didn't really decide to throw the ball very much, and they're going to settle for a field goal attempt.
Have no other choice now. I mean, with 6 seconds left on the clock, or is that 8 seconds left on the clock, you don't have much of a choice but to kick a field goal. You might have a chance to throw one ball up, but why do something like that?
You can see head coach Johnny Thomas, Dr. Johnny Thomas there, discussing something with the referee. The band's at halftime. I've just been everybody up here. The sonic boom of the South Band from Jackson State. The sounds of dynamite. Alcorn State.
I like the way that sounds.
You do? Sounds of dynamite.
Who do you think is the better band? Who has the better
I don't know. I mean, you're going to be able to vote after halftime. We'll give everybody the number after halftime and see who is better, Jackson State or Alcorn State.
I get to see you. I haven't seen you dance before. I get to see some of your dance moves up here.
You know the coach can dance. You know I can dance.
You got it. You got it, baby.
Well, now a field goal attempt for Alcorn State. Jeremy Shea, it's going to be a field goal attempt of 25. He missed from 27 earlier. This time the hold is up, the kick is up, and this time the kick is good and through.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, 17-7 is not as bad as 21-7.
That's very true.
Going into halftime.
That's very true. So Shea puts his Alcorn State team on top by 10. There are still 5 seconds remaining here in this second quarter. But Jackson State, despite all the penalties, despite all the dumb mistakes, they are still in this ball game. But they talked about it last week. Now, keep in mind, they lost to Prairie View A&M last week. For the first time in 34 years, Prairie View A&M beat Jackson State. And for the first time in 44 years, Prairie View A&M won back-to-back ball games. So they scored the first 9 points last week and then allowed 27 unanswered. So Jackson State needs to go into halftime, wouldn't you say, go into halftime, regroup, and not be so concerned with being down 10 points and come out with a good attitude.
Well, in college football, like I said earlier, anything can happen. You can come back. All you need is maybe a kickoff return here, a big play, like that defensive play that actually happened out there, that great interception, getting your offense in good scoring position. But if you come back out here and you lay down, you don't think you have a chance, you start pointing fingers, you start going out there making bonehead mistakes, getting flags out there on the football field, you're not going to give yourself a chance to win the game. But I believe Jackson State really wants to win this game.
And again, a short kickoff taken by the up man past the 45 to the 47. But that's going to do it. The clock is going to wind out here in this first half. So Alcorn State will go into halftime with a 17-7 lead. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Church's Battles of the Bands. The bands are ready as we go to half. This is Football Nation on CSTV.
At Churches, we believe that greatness begins with passion and commitment. We proudly support the students and communities of historically black colleges and universities. Churches.
Classic, we are at halftime. 17-7 is the lead that Alcorn State holds over Jackson State. When you talk about the competition on the field, it also goes to the Battle of the Bands. It's time now for that. Alcorn State, Sounds of Dynamite. Enjoy.
Sounds of Dynamite from Fayette, Mississippi, Albert White, from Gulfport, Mississippi, Ashley Morris, from Lexington, Mississippi, Brandon Thurman, and from Chicago, Illinois, Brandon Skipper. Ladies and gentlemen, the high-stepping, fantastic four. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for the #1 swag band, presenting the earth-shaking, groundbreaking, trailblazing Sounds of Dynamite, the Alcorn State University Marching Band. We bring you a halftime spectacular filled with excitement and guaranteed to move you. Get on up out of your seat and party with this real boot machine. And now, Sounds of Dynamite, introduce yourselves. Focus your attention on our creative maneuvers and patterns in motion. The tune is Skin I'm In by Cameo. Is the twirler for this segment of our show. The band is complimented by the talented Purple Flasher Flag Corps. The Alcorn State University Band has been a perennial powerhouse among marching bands, made up of highly talented musicians and dancers from all over the nation. This edition of the Sounds of Dynamite continues the legacy of great pride and superior showmanship. State University is the oldest historically black land-grant institution in the nation. Nestled in the rural hills of southwest Mississippi, Alcorn State University is known as the academic resort. The university has maintained a tradition of scholarship and excellence since 1871. As we continue with our precision drill, enjoy the sounds of Word Up by Cameo. Segment of the show is Miss Sherry World. Time to turn up the heat. Yeah, like the freak. Dynamite's about to explode. Come on, drum mate, just set it up. Let's get presidential. He's stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're number one. Sway. Kid, play. Get up. Throw it. Yeah, hit it later. Yes, sons of dynamite. You prove the superior man here today. The Alcorn State University marching band is under the direction of Mr. Samuel S. Griffin and Mr. Randolph Johnson. It's been my pleasure to be your halftime announcer. I'm Donzel Lee, bidding you a pleasant afternoon and evening. Peace.
Sounds of Dynamite from Alcorn State. They sound great. Jackson State's Sonic Boom of the South is up next. We're at halftime at the Capital City Classic. The Church's Chicken Battle of the Bands. We have already heard from Alcorn State's Sounds of Dynamite. Excuse me. Now it's time for Jackson State's Sonic Boom of the South.
Mississippi. Alan Evans, a junior from Mobile, Alabama, and Passion Sturgis, a junior from Chicago, Illinois. The head drum major is Byron Joseph, a senior from Detroit, Michigan. And gentlemen, fine-tune your sensory apparatus for the utmost in the acme and pinnacle in the most exquisite sights and sounds found in any band performance anytime and anywhere. For it's the preternatural and the most delightful and delectable sights and sounds available to any audience anytime and anywhere. Fringe is the apex of excellence, representing the age of the electronic and computerized musical explosion. Observe the quickness, the eccentricity, and the aggressive showmanship of this outstanding aggregation. Jackson State University proudly presents the quintessence of contemporary sounds of the year, the Shaka Khan, Diana Ross, and Tina Turner.
for your Church's Chicken Battle of the Bands. Right now, text your vote for your favorite school band and Church's Chicken Battle of the Bands. Use your mobile phone to cast your vote. Text the word band to 76278. The school with the most votes will receive a $5,000 donation from Church's Chicken. Show your support and text the word band to the number 76278 right now. Well, it's been an extended halftime. When we come back, we will have full first half statistics and highlights. What a halftime. We're coming back on Football Nation. Alcorn State leads by 10. Alcorn State at a half leads Jackson State 17-7 alongside Ray Buchanan. I am Jonathan Coachman. Let's get right into the first half highlights. We were scoreless into the second quarter in a big-time miscue on a punt by the senior leader of Jackson State, Cletus Gordon. You watch here closely, the ball appears to go dead, but then touches his right foot. Alcorn State recovers. It leads to a 5-yard touchdown by Tony Hobson.
That set up this touchdown right here after the bonehead mistake. Now Tony Hobson goes in for the touchdown, baby.
Yeah, that led to a 7-0 score, and then Alcorn State had the ball back again, but a miscue, an interception by Marcus Smith.
This is a great tip ball by Tavares Jones to set up this interception by Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith returned it 64 yards and set up this next play by David Kennebrew.
Big David Kennebrew taking it over from 3 yards out. That tied the score at 7, but on the very next possession, big Jeremy McCoy, who had 51 yards rushing in the first half, takes his shovel pass 18 yards.
I tell you what, Alcorn State been doing what they want on the offensive side of the ball. They've been lining up in shotgun and running big plays.
Then Jeremy Shea added a 28-yard field goal at the end of the first half that made the score 17-7, and that's where we stand right now as we head for the second half. Should be very entertaining, as was the Battle of the Bands. Second half kickoff when we come back. CSTV Football Nation is being brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Nissan. 17-7. We're all set for the start of the second half. Kickoff here in the third quarter as Alcorn State leads Jackson State 17-7. Charlie Spiller is back for Alcorn State, and teeing it up for Jackson State, Asher Ashley will get things going. And you have to say right here, initially in the third quarter, Jackson State needs a stop. They cannot afford to get down more than this 17-7 margin. Nice kickoff back to the 5, taken by Spiller at the 5. He's going to try it straight up the middle and wrapped up right at the 20-yard line. Nice coverage by Jackson State. So young Tony Hobson will trot back out onto the field to lead his Brave squad. And Tony Hobson in the first half, how would you evaluate his performance?
I definitely have to give him a B, but he hasn't had that go out there and make risky plays. You know, they have a real good running game. They've been running the ball well, so they can pick and choose when they want to throw the ball. That'll take a lot of pressure off Hobson. But Jackson State at this particular time on this drive need to get off the football field with a nice 3-and-out, or maybe even after the next series and try to get the ball back into Jackson State's hands.
First and 10 for the Braves from their own 21-I formation. Hand off back to Jeremy McCoy. He had a lot of work in the first half, 13 rushing for 51 yards. While we got a second, let's take a look at the first half statistics, and you can see Alcorn State dominated yardage-wise.
Yeah, passing yards, they definitely did. You know, you see he put up 116 yards. And on the ground, they put 64 yards. But, you know, you look at Jackson State's rushing yards, only 24 yards, and in the air, they only put up 12 yards. So those things definitely going to have to change. The defense can't do everything out there on the football field to make plays. Offensively, they're going to have to go out there and try to show up.
Tony Hobson, 116 yards passing in the first half. Didn't run it too much, but very, very effective. Second down and 4 for the Braves. McCoy busts it outside. Nice move. And outside the 30, past the 31. It'll be good for a Braves first down. And Jeremy McCoy started very slowly in this game, but towards the second quarter, he really started to pick up momentum.
I think now that you see that they're up like by 17-7 now, they're going to start giving the ball into McCoy's hands a little bit more. They don't have to throw the ball as much. You know, you probably see them in maybe third and short situation, or even on third and long. If they get put in that situation, Hobbs will have to throw the football.
This is the initial drive here in the third quarter. If you're just tuning back in, the Battle of the Bands, possibly the longest halftime in the history of college football, but very enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable, and a great ending to the Battle of the Bands. And Ray, I know you enjoyed that very, very much.
Yeah.
A shake like I've never seen somebody shake before. Jeremy McCoy up the middle. good for 2 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 from the 33.
Well, they had a guy out there as big as Chris Seymour that's out there, number 73.
Wait a second, Seymour's only 330 pounds. The guy in the Battle of the Bands had to go 450.
At least 450.
I felt bad for the guy that had dressed up like the Alcorn State guy.
He was shaking everything.
You never know what you're going to get on Football Nation each and every Saturday afternoon. 2nd down and 8 for Alcorn State from their own 32. Again, I formation. McCoy is the deep back. This time Hobson's going to pass, but he's rushed, eludes the first couple of tacklers, can't elude the second, and wrapped up in the backfield by big number 77, Darian Billups. Flags fly from the side judge. We'll see what that call is, but that play was blown up from the beginning.
Yeah, everybody was gotten to the backfield. Hobbs didn't really have a chance, and you wonder why the coach decided to throw the football when they're leading, 17-7.
All right, you got to think about it, though. I mean, they're only up 10 points.
Well, you got a point there. And
you can't change your game plan as of yet.
Start to sing until it's over, right?
Exactly. Well, holding call on Alcorn State will be declined because that's going to bring up a 3rd down play for the Braves. So Jackson State, just like in the first half, their defense has come out initially very strong.
Holding offense, number 71. Penalty is declined, 3rd down.
So they'll take the result of the play, and probably a smart move. They'll bring up a 3rd down and about 14 from their own 28-yard line, 12:48 and counting here in the 3rd quarter.
Now it's 3rd and long. They either have to pass the ball, throw a screen, or maybe even a draw. But there's not too many plays the coach have in the book where you guys sit back and you see it's 3rd and 14, 3rd and 13.
Hobson will take it from the shotgun. He's got a man wide open over the middle. That's Bozeman. He receives it at the 37, taken down right there. A nice play by number 6. He's been all over the field. Vincent Dancy is going to be short of a 1st down. It'll bring up a punting situation for the Braves.
That was a nice little safe pass. You don't want to go out there and throw an interception and put Jackson State in scoring position. So they just dumped the ball off across the middle of the field. Nice safe play. Now bring the kicking team out.
Oliver Bozeman was used in a lot of different situations in the first half for Alcorn State. Now in to do the punting for Alcorn State, Dominic Addison. And back to receive the punt, Cletus Gordon is back this time.
I bet you won't make the same mistake he did.
I bet he won't either. This time it's going to be blocked. It's going to be blocked and taken by one of the up men for Jackson State. And it was blocked back there. Let's see who that was.
Number 56.
Well, it was recovered by number 53, John Thompson. But let's see who made the block on that punt. And what a big break. What a big play to start this 3rd quarter off for the Tigers.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jackson State been doing a great job on special teams of actually going out there and making big plays happen. That was number 56, Bobby Colvin.
56, Bobby Colvin. And the punter actually punted it right into him as he was rushing. So a big break for Jackson State. They'll take over inside of Alcorn State territory. And at quarterback, McClain is back. He's being rushed out there. Ducks one defender, but he can't duck the other, and he's still on his feet. But finally, he will go down.
I tell you what, that play was all busted up. That was a great job by Lee Robinson of getting them down by Alcorn State. But we were just talking about Jackson State having an opportunity to go out there and make something happen. Here they're getting their chance. Now they sit in this position where it's 2nd and forever.
Keithon McLaren, the starting quarterback, all the way back to the 49 of Jackson State. And now Terrence Matthews back in at quarterback, and McLaren will go out.
Well, Rashid, he had the first opportunity to get him down. He didn't quite get him.
Matthews from the shotgun, and he's looking for a quick pass. Nobody was there. A very dangerous pass, nearly intercepted. So incomplete. It'll bring up a 3rd down, and not the way after that block punt that Jackson State wanted this drive to go.
Alcorn State was ready for that screenplay right there. He had no one to throw it to. I tell you what, McLaren had nobody to throw the football to. And now we seeing the opportunity by Terrence Matthews to come out there on the football field. Let's see what he can do. It's 3rd and long.
So Matthews will stay in a quarterback. One back in the backfield, 4 wide receivers. And Jackson State, who in the first half only had 16 yards passing, will need at least 16 to get a first down here. But Matthews breaks out of the backfield across the 40, inside the 40, down to the 39. Looked initially like he would have a little bit more room than that. Picked up a bunch, but it wasn't enough. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 7, and we'll see it's decision time for the Tigers.
I tell you what, I think they're going to go for it here. They're sitting at the 40-yard line. You're in a position to either punt the ball or, try to go for a field goal. It's out of range for a field goal. Why not just go for it?
Yeah, exactly. It's the third quarter of the final game of the year. And like you said in the first half, when you're 2-8, you can make these decisions a little bit easier because you've got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose here.
Matthews still in at quarterback. Now whistle blows.
On that last play, if Matthews had a little bit of time, his wide receivers were open across the middle of the football field. You wonder if they're going to come back to that same play. They need to, when you got 4th and forever or 3rd and long.
Yeah, well, Jackson State decides to take a timeout. They're going to think about it. A big 4th down play when we come back early in the 3rd.
Keeps going and going.
Jackson State will go for it here on a very chilly afternoon in Jackson, Mississippi. 4th down and 7 for the Tigers in their initial drive here in this third quarter. First drive of the second half. Terrence Matthews will lateral it back to his wide receiver, and they're going to throw it deep, but there is nobody down there. Well, it was intended in the end zone. Initially, it looked like there was nobody down there, but indeed, Byron Johnson was running deep. The pass was made by Jeremy Handy. A very risky play, but something you got to pull out, I guess.
He pulled it out. He pulled one out of the hat this time, but this is a great throw. The wide receiver actually, it's a post route. It's not a 9 route.
So from up here, it looked like the ball was going on, obviously in the wrong direction, so we apologize for that.
Well, he needed to throw the ball towards the post. It looked like it was a pretty good play, but he didn't have enough time to set up. Handy didn't have enough time to set up to throw the ball. He actually got hit.
So a fumble on the initial play, and we'll see who made the recovery in Jackson State just like that on a fumble by Jeremy McCoy from the handoff from Hobson.
Maurice Hardnett. He comes out with a big play again. This is what Jackson State need, another big play. The defense is doing everything. The special teams are coming out there doing everything right now for them. They putting themselves in position. Now Jackson State offense got to punch it in.
Jeremy McCoy took his eye off the handoff from Hobson. A bad exchange. The ball goes to the ground. Hardnett picks it up. And again, Jackson State another opportunity. So the first 2 drives by Alcorn State, a blocked punt, now a fumble. And Jackson State back in business at the Alcorn State 41-yard line.
Here he goes. Coach Jones have an opportunity right now to score. Believe me, I know he's licking his chops, saying we're getting so many opportunities, we got to punch one in.
And now they pitch back to the second back coming through. Breaks a couple of tackles inside the 35, down to the 32. And on the run, Olandis Rogers after the fake up the middle to Kennebrew, and Terrence Matthews still in there at quarterback, so a good first down gain for the Tigers.
Kind of close.
His knee almost touched the ground. Let's see if it may have.
Looked like his knee was down. Let's see. Knee down.
That was close.
Hands down. And I tell you what, Olandis Rogers had a real good run. He was relentless in trying to get that first down, but came up just a little bit short. Now you got second and 2.
Yeah, 2nd and 2 from the 33, let's say, of Alcorn State. Jackson State desperately needs a score, at least a field goal or a touchdown or something. They're going to run an end around. And there's a couple of blockers out there, and just a dumb block. Probably going to be a flag on the play. They did not call it on the end around.
Randall Ward coming around on the end around.
And big number 74 for Jackson State, Reginald Green. If we can take a look at that play one more time, it was good for a first down, but take a look at number 74 on this play, Ray. Nearly a stupid block from behind that they didn't call.
Well, once you get it, when you go down there and you hit a guy, look, he tried to chop block. Those plays right there in the NFL will get you a $50,000 fine. Luckily, these kids don't have that much money. Not even close. But that would have been a big-time mistake.
Well, it was good for a first down, and now Matthews is going to keep it. And he's going to be wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. The first guy there for Alcorn State was Lester Mosley, who's a guy we haven't called his name a lot today, but Lester Mosley is a linebacker who had 10 tackles a week ago, an interception last week, and he's a guy for Alcorn State that's a big-time guy in the defensive linebacking crew.
Whenever you can put up those type of numbers, be a solid tackler, put up double digits. You know, I gotta say, you gotta take a hat off to those type of guys. Those guys are the ones that fight for you. They go to war for you.
A very, very quickly moving third quarter here in Jackson. Now a handoff to the first guy through. That's going to be David Kennebrew. He shakes off a couple of tacklers, and he's still going inside the 10, down to the 9. Finally taken down there by Quentin Sullivan, but not before Kennebrew has a first down and a first down and goal for the Tigers.
Great blocking by the center and the guard. I mean, they just hammered the defensive tackle. Kennebrew did the rest, got down the football field and made some of these guys pay for it.
And the umpire took a bump in the process, so well, at least he didn't take his eyes off the play. That's the important thing.
This is what Jackson State needed. They finally get the opportunity to get a little momentum going their way. They got an opportunity to get it on the ground. If they score here, 17-10, they back in the ball game.
Terrence Matthews pitches back to the second guy through. That's going to be, I believe, Kennebrew on the carry down to the 5-yard line. So when they get inside the 10, Ray, they put Kennebrew back at the halfback position as opposed to the fullback position.
Yeah, they sure did. They're moving him around a little bit. That was a great hit by Lee. That was Lee Robinson. Great tackle. Great play.
We'll see if Jackson State keeps it on the ground here. Second down and goal from the 5. 17-7 inside of 7 minutes to go here in this third quarter. A touchdown here would certainly tighten things up. And we'd have quite a ball game heading into the 4th. And again, it's going to be Kennebrew. He misses one tackler, but he gets driven out at the 2. It looked like he might go into the end zone, but a nice play over there by the linebacker from Alcorn State. That's big number 49, Antonio Cooper, driving Kennebrew out of bounds. And now a big third down play, 3rd and goal from the 2.
These linebackers are, they're playing some really good football. That was a good play by the cornerback by turning everything in to the pursuit. And Cooper in the game came in and cleaned up Kennebrew.
Lester Mosley also went on the tackle there for Alcorn State. So now 3rd down and goal, and again 3 running backs in the backfield.
Same formation. They got 2 tight ends, 2 backs in the backfield.
And the head off again to big number 35, and he goes nowhere. Kennebrew is stood up at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely no gain for number 35, and it'll bring up a 4th down and goal. And you'd have to think here, Ray, you got to kick the field goal.
You got to, well, they're putting themselves in position now. You think about the field goal. Instead of going for it, you can go 7. It'll be 17-10. You still get an opportunity. It's a 2-touchdown game anyway, or maybe a touchdown and a field goal to tie the game.
Well, you can see that Coach Jones is going to call timeout. And think about it, another 4th down decision. It's 4th and goal from the 2 when we come back on Football Nation.
We proudly support the students and communities of historically black colleges and universities. Churches.
A big 4th down decision, and it looks like Jackson State is indeed going to go for it from the 2. 4th down and 2 could be the play of the game. 5:31 to go here in the 3rd quarter on Football Nation. The crowd rises to their feet, and Terrence Matthews will pitch it back to Kennebrew again. He's going for the end zone, and this time he does get in, stretching the ball over the end line. Touchdown, Jackson State.
Great blocking. That was a great effort by Kennebrew. They either was going to make him or break him and make the coach look bad by making that decision to go for it. He had enough confidence in his players, and he succeeded.
Coach Jones telling his offensive line, get it done. And on that play, they got it done just enough. Take a look at it one more time. Kennebrew barely reaching that ball over the end line.
Great pursuit by the Alcorn, but they just couldn't get it done. Hey, hats off to Kennebrew. Kennebrew, leap of faith, got inside the end zone, touchdown.
His 2nd touchdown on the day. Ashley, in for the extra point. It's up, and it is good. So just like that, Jackson State does indeed respond. David Kennebrew does it again. We've got a 3-point game. Stick around. We're coming back.
Now get a Sirius satellite radio for under $50.
Jackson State fans kicking it after a 2-yard touchdown run by David Kennebrew. 8 plays, 41 yards, 4.5 minutes after the fumble recovery by Maurice Hartnett. So now Jackson State will kick off. Back to receive for Alcorn State, number 82, Charlie Spiller. And obviously Alcorn State has been looking for a big return all afternoon. Spiller has yet to break a big one.
Jackson State been playing some sound kickoff unit. Coming down, everybody staying in their lanes, making sure Spill don't spilled over.
The kickoff by Ashley is short, taken to the 13 by Spiller. He's going to go across the field, and he's got some room over there. He's got from 25 to the 30. He's got some blockers out there. He's got the 45, past the 50, inside the 45, and inside to the 44. And just when you didn't think he could get it done, all afternoon long, Spiller, an excellent return, putting Alcorn State in business. And right now, let's take a look at the Xbox Live big play replay, and it's actually 2 plays, Ray, from the last drive.
Yeah, this was set up right here when the running back actually fumbled the ball right here, and Maurice Hartnett gets the ball. This sets up everything right here. This sets up Kennebrew's touchdown.
Maurice Hartnett recovered it. David Kennebrew took it in on 4th down to make it 17-14. That's where we stand right now, as Alcorn State and Tony Hobson take over inside of Jackson State territory, and the pitch back to Jeremy McCoy. He's got some room. He's down the sideline inside the 30. He's still on his feet to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, all the way down to the 6. Jeremy McCoy.
Great run by Jeremy McCoy right there.
A 39-yard run for Jeremy McCoy, and just when you thought Jackson State was right back in the game, Alcorn State responds.
They definitely responded. Jackson State thought they had him going. My man right there coming through with a big play in the clutch.
Some great downfield blocking by the receivers from Alcorn State.
Jeremy, come through.
Starting out very slowly in the first quarter, but now Jeremy McCoy has found his rhythm, and Alcorn State has 1st down and goal at the Jackson State 6. McCoy's going to get it again. He's still on his feet inside the 5 and driven down at the 4. Nice play over there by Vincent Dancy, the standout defensive back for Jackson State. And how important is it, Ray? It's probably a dumb question. I'll go ahead and say it's a dumb question for them to stop Alcorn State and not allow them to get into the end zone.
Well, you done had 2 big plays happen against you. One, Charlie Spiller just comes down and returns the kickoff just when you was just talking about the guy. He comes over and spill over and have a great return. Then you have, Jeremy McCoy come through with a big run. And if they don't stop him right here, 17-14 is going to let the air right back out of him. Jackson State, as soon as they just thought they got something going.
Well, they threw a flag on the play, illegal procedure, before the 2nd down play even got off. So they moved the ball back to the 8. So it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 8 for the Braves. 3 wide receivers, 2 backs in the backfield behind Hobson. They're going to run the draw to McCoy again. This time Jackson State is ready for it.
Well, they've been running that play all day, and it's been pretty successful for Alcorn State. Jackson State seemed to be ready for it that time.
Maybe a gain of 1, maybe 2. It'll bring 3rd down and goal, and you have to think that if Jackson State can hold them to a field goal try, that would be a success.
That would be a lot of success there, Coach. You're talking about, instead of, if they can hold to a field goal 20-14, they're sitting in a great position instead of sitting at a 24-14 deficit, being down by 10.
Yeah, after that 39-yard run by Jeremy McCoy puts Alcorn State in this position. We are under 4 minutes to go here in this 3rd quarter, 17-14 in this rivalry of 2 schools that are only 90 yards apart. 90 yards, 90 miles apart. Excuse me.
90 yards.
Wouldn't it? Well, I think everybody from both cities are in the stadium today. A great crowd.
All right.
And that's what I was wondering. They called the illegal procedure. I thought maybe it was 12 guys in the huddle or something like that. But I think it actually was on the 1st down play, so this may be only 2nd down.
I think you're right there, Coach. Right now, on the football field, they got 3rd down, so they got to correct the mistake relatively fast. That's why all the zebras are in the huddle right now. The zebras are there trying to fix things.
Domino's Pizza is now hiring.
Yeah, it is only 2nd down. So
you don't want one of those mistakes. You remember that game back in the Missouri game?
Missouri and Nebraska, sure.
Yeah, and they had
5 downs. It's easy to do when you're on national TV and you got millions of people watching. It's easy to make those mistakes. Well, here we go. 2nd down and goal for Alcorn State. Freshman Tony Hobson has been up and down this afternoon, but in my eyes has really grown up a lot. He is very, very athletic, and now Hobson doesn't see something or doesn't like the play call, so he's going to call a timeout, so we're going to stay right here.
Well, you think about how the quarterback's playing. whenever you get a running back like Jeremy McCoy that's running as well as he's running, that takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback. Now you can pick and choose when you want to throw the football. It's easier for the coach to call plays, put Hobson in great position to go back there and make the easier throws. That way he don't have to gamble as much.
This is the 60th meeting between Jackson State and Alcorn State. And even though Jackson State is down this year, they lead the all-time series 36-21-1. But Alcorn State has won the last 2 years, and this year trying to make that 3 in a row.
If they can make that three in a row, that would really boost these guys up. I think they got a fairly good football team. You think about some of the young guys that they have, guys that's coming back to play for you. You got good disciplined players. You try to get guys on your team that fit your personality. That's what coaches try to do more than anything. They try to bring
Dr. Johnny Thomas has a rare personality. So you got to have some tough guys on his team. Here we go, second down and goal for Alcorn State. They fake it to the up back, and now Hobson's going to try and throw, but it's getting blown up in the backfield, and now he fumbles. The ball is on the ground, and we'll see who recovers it.
Well, he's holding that ball like a loaf of bread, and now you think about Jackson State.
And Jackson State has recovered the ball inside of their own 5-yard line.
Coach, how many times today have we seen the defense come up with plays? But, you think about the gifts. It's really Alcorn State, the ones that making the mistakes. They're the ones who putting the ball on the ground.
Absolutely amazing. It looked like Hobson was pulling a disappearing act. Looked like he was being wrapped up in the backfield. Let's take a look at it one more time. Looked like he was going to be down at the 15 or the 14, got out of it, and then simply just dropped the ball.
Coach, you got to really protect the football. Whenever you start scrambling around in the backfield, you got to protect the football. You can't hold it like my dad used to tell me, holding the ball like a loaf of bread. Something bad's bound to happen when the ball is sitting out there. But it looked like the ball might have hit Hobson's thigh, and the ball popped straight on out. Jackson State recovers.
Yeah, ball recovered by number 56, Bobby Colvin, the man on the spot. Let's take a look at it one more time. Let's see exactly what happened. Well, actually, I think his own player was trying to block for him, hit the ball inadvertently. The ball came out, so Jackson State takes over at their own 4. What a huge break for the Tigers.
The eye in the sky don't lie. Film doesn't lie. We saw what happened.
And now Terrence Matthews still in there at quarterback for Jackson State. He hands to the first guy through. That's Kennebrew. He gets some breathing room for the Tiger offense out to the 9. A gain of 5 will bring up second down and 5.
Well, if you're a betting man, you wonder if these guys can actually. You think of Jackson State having to return the ball try to get down the football field.
Indeed, it was his own man. It was his own man that inadvertently with the elbow knocked the ball out of his quarterback's hand. The ball went down. Jackson State recovers. So I tell you what, so many strange things have happened here this afternoon.
Can Jackson State drive the ball down 98 yards? 97.
I don't know if they can, but we're going to sit here and find out. Well, a sweep play around the left side. Good for a first down, so they've got a good start. We'll just see if they can continue and carry this on, because they don't have an offense, as we've seen, that can go all the way down the field. They need breaks. They need turnovers. They need short fields. But if somehow Terrence Matthews can direct a 96-yard drive, what a way this would be for this season to end for Jackson State with the offense actually doing something.
This would be great, because I know what, the defense has definitely been showing up today. Special teams been showing up. They've been making Alcorn State pay for every penalty that they actually occurs out there on the football field by making those mistakes.
And now the handoff to the first back through, and again, big-time yardage for Jackson State. That's Austin Amani. Austin Amani, the big running back, 235 pounds from Detroit, Michigan.
He looks bigger than 235.
No, he's a big boy out to the 25. Again, 10 yards, good for a first down, and Jackson State is on the move out now from the shadows of their own goal line.
Well, we're seeing some yards getting ate up right now.
Well, yards are getting eaten up, and the clock is getting eaten up as well. A very, very quick third quarter, and again, the handoff to the first back through. Again, that's going to be Amani. He gets about 4 yards. Well, folks, check out HBCUconnect.com, the world's largest website dedicated to the historically black college and university audience. Sign up to network with HBCU students, graduates, and fans, as well as stay connected with the latest HBCU news, events, chats, and more, all at www.hbcuconnect.com. Well, second down at 6 from their own 29. We are inside of a minute. The clock is running on this third quarter. 17-14, a perilous 3-point lead for the Braves from Alcorn State. And now a sweep again to the left side, and this time nowhere to go for Jackson State. Strung out very, very nicely on the carry that time for Jackson State was Jeremy Kitchens.
I know Coach Darrell Jones was like wiping his forehead because Terrence Matthews almost lost that ball there on the pitch.
Well, even if Jackson State can't sustain this drive, even if they can't drive it 96 yards at least, they've got it out far enough to where if they have to punt, they're not just going to give it back to Alcorn State in their own territory. So that's one good thing, but we'll see what they can do here. 3rd down and 6 from their own 30. Terrence Matthews has been the quarterback for most of this third quarter. And now fumble, the ball is on the ground, and we'll see who recovers it. Alcorn State says they have it. We will see. And if you can believe it, and I guess you can, another fumble, another turnover, and Alcorn State, I got to start watching what I say, because right when I say something,
it happens.
It happens. The ball's on the ground. The Braves have it inside of Jackson territory at the 30, and this game just gets crazier and crazier as we go along.
Well, I wonder what Terrence Matthews has on his hands, because the ball's been slipping out of his hands quite a bit. A couple plays before that, he almost lost the pitch. Now he just finished having a miscue on the snap, lose the ball there. And now Alcorn State recovers, and now they're in scoring position.
I believe that was Orrin Long on the recovery. Coach Jones disgusted on the sidelines at the botched snap by his quarterback. Well, Alcorn State, they hand off to the first back through. That's big.
They gave it to the fridge.
Oh, my goodness. Big number 35 for Alcorn State. That's Kenny Williams. And he gets about 5 yards down to the 25. And
that's a load.
I think Kenny Williams actually took his uniform off at halftime, performed with the band, and then got it back on, and then came back out and played. I'm just playing. Well, that's going to be. That's going to be.
Fall over and get a first down.
That's going to be the last play of the third quarter, but a very eventful third quarter to say the least. Lots of turnovers, but we've got a ball game as we head to the fourth quarter. Wow, Alcorn State leads by only 3. We're coming back to start the fourth.
There are 15 minutes to play in the game. 15 minutes could save you 15%. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit us at geico.com.
We are back, everybody. Capital City Classic with the start of the fourth quarter, 17-14. Alcorn State is on top alongside Ray Buchanan. I am Jonathan Coachman. And we should be in for a very interesting and event-filled fourth quarter as Alcorn State has it 2nd down and 6 from the Jackson State 26 off a fumble recovery to end the third quarter. Tony Hobson will hand off to Jeremy McCoy. Big hole. Flag fly, though. Inside the 20, down to the 19.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
It would be good for a first down, but, Ray, you're probably right. Probably going to bring it back. And it is against Alcorn State. If nothing else, right, I will say this. We've seen a very competitive game this afternoon. We've seen a lot of penalties, a lot of turnovers, but it's been fun.
It has been fun. A lot of turnovers.
Offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Chris Seymour was the guilty party for Alcorn State. He'll take it back 10 yards, bring up a 2nd down and 16.
Well, like you said, it has been an entertaining game. 17-14 is not a blowout. Both teams on both sides of the ball been making plays. They've both been making mistakes. But we've been having a good treat.
Brother, we always have fun, no matter where we go. Jackson, Mississippi, Arkansas, Pine Bluff. So do these guys. I mean, the bands probably have more fun than anybody.
They rocking it. They have fun.
I'm still looking for the fridge. I want the fridge to come up on the broadcast. That's what I'm calling him now. That guy was the fridge.
The fridge. Talking about the big guy that was dancing during halftime. He was shaking it.
Tremendous.
Shaking it.
That's one of the most entertaining things I've seen all year long. I'm not kidding. We have to wait till November 19th to get it, but we got it. All right, 2nd down at 16-4, Alcorn State. Tony Hobson, the freshman quarterback, still behind center in the shotgun. He'll hand it off to Jeremy McCoy. Looking for a hole. Not much there. Good pursuit by the Jackson State defense down to about the 32. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 12. They need to get all the way to the 20 for a first down.
They've been running that draw play a lot today. They've been pretty successful with it.
They must have seen something. You talked about watching film and doing all that. They must have seen something in the Jackson State front four that they thought they could capitalize, and they've been very successful. Jeremy McCoy's run very well.
You're absolutely right, Coach. And a lot of times when you're running that draw play, it's the front four, but then you really get to the linebackers. If the linebackers don't get up there to stop that play can be pretty successful.
Well, Hobson's going to go deep. He's got one guy down there. It's a jump ball. The ball is up and it's caught and it's taken in for a touchdown. On the tip. It was Emmanuel Arsenault. On the tip, and it's a touchdown, Alcorn State.
Emmanuel Arsenault, great concentration. The play was never over. That looked like a Hail Mary play. The ball was tipped up in the air. He comes down with it. The ball was a wounded duck, for one. Nobody hit him. The ball was a wounded duck. Look at the ball sit up there. It's sitting up there forever.
It was almost like a punt.
The defensive back had opportunity to intercept the ball.
It was intended for Spiller.
Cletus Gordon had opportunity to intercept the ball.
Yes, sure did. It was intended for Spiller. You're right on top of it, Ray. But what a catch. A 32-yard touchdown catch for Arsenault. And Alcorn State is back up by 10. What else is going to happen?
Right now, get a Sirius satellite radio for under $50.
We are back. A spectacular 32-yard touchdown by that man. He's talking about it. Emmanuel Arsenault puts Alcorn State up 24-14. 14 minutes to go here in this fourth quarter. And now Alcorn State will take a look at that touchdown in just a moment after the kickoff. But Jordan Beard is back to receive the kick, and again it's taken by an up man. And the up man has a lot of space past the 35 and just stuck right there at the 37 on the return. That time for Jackson State, Marquise McGinty. Let's take a look one more time, Ray. Those tip drills really come in handy, don't they?
They definitely come in handy, especially on a play like this. It goes into Alcorn's favor again. They coming up with the big play. Emmanuel, way to go, Emmanuel. They practice I tell you what, Coach, they practice this in practice. Tip drills. You never know. Like for a Hail Mary play. That was sort of like a Hail Mary play.
I guarantee you Charlie Spiller's over there on the sideline saying, "You're welcome, Emmanuel. I tipped it to you. I gave you a touchdown."
That was a gimme. It was a gimme.
Well, we'll see if Jackson State can respond. A very happy wide receiver on the Alcorn State sidelines, and why wouldn't you be? Wow. Those touchdowns don't come around every day like that.
They don't come around like that. They take it down, and they like, forget it. I take it.
Dead ball, personal foul. First and 10 for Jackson.
Well, Coach Darrell Jones, interim head coach, has got to be scratching his head, and you can see why, having watched Jackson State this afternoon, why he wants to be coach, he wants to be here, he wants to coach these kids, but not a whole lot of discipline right now on the Jackson State sideline. So they'll move it back to their own 20. A long way to go, down 10 with under 14 minutes to play here in the third quarter. First play from scrimmage. Handoff goes around the right side. Excuse me. Rogers will take it up to the 25 and out of bounds right there.
You know what I find interesting, Coach? That they love running the ball to the short side of the field instead of giving themselves a chance, giving the running backs themselves a chance to go to the open side of the field. You got a lot more room. You got at least another 10 yards if you go to the wide side of the field. But you can try to catch some teams off guard by running to the opposite side, running to the short side of the field.
And you got to wonder at this point if Coach Jones is letting the senior quarterback Terrence Matthews go ahead and play out this game, McLaren being a sophomore. Matthews, it's his last game as a senior, so Matthews has been in the entire second half. He fires a bullet and a nice toss and catch. His receiver out there making that reception is Jordan Beard. Good for a first down. And right now, I can tell you that Sunday at 10 Eastern, it's another installment of CSTV's original production, Total Access. This week, we turn our attention to Stanford University as softball standout Laura Severson takes us on a tour of one of the country's elite athletic programs. Also, Andrew Cartenden shows us how to properly position yourself in a soccer goal. We have 20 questions with two members of the men's basketball team, and we profile Candace Wiggins, one of the best women's basketball players in the country. Stanford Total Access, Sunday at 10 only right here on CSTV. The handoff goes to Kennebrew straight up the middle. Good for about 2 yards, but you got to think now, Ray, you can't continue. I mean, there is a lot of time left, but you're down 10. You haven't shown that you can drive the length of the field. You got to start moving things a little bit quicker.
You got to move things a little bit quicker. Got to throw the ball just a little bit more. They run the ball a lot. They hand the ball to Kennebrew. That is their playmaker right now today. But it's interesting. I heard you say earlier that Terrence Matthews getting a lot more of the snaps, but you know, McLaren, I think he left the game hurt.
Oh, what a shot! Terrence Matthews took a shot over there. Wow!
Somebody else might leave the game hurt.
What a hit by Oren Long, and this guy in the last few minutes has certainly made his presence known. And that time Matthews took a shot. The ball fell incomplete. So now it'll be 3rd down and 8 at their own 34. Let's listen to this. Oh!
I wonder what he's saying to him afterwards. I bet you Mr. Matthews knows his name.
He's saying Happy Senior Day. Happy Senior Day, Mr. Matthews.
Like,
we appreciate it, and I'll be back. 3rd down and 8, 12:41 to go here in this 4th quarter. Jackson State down 10. And over the middle, incomplete, and Beard is looking for a flag, but I think that's just great coverage out there by Antonio Cooper. The ball falls incomplete. It'll bring up a 4th down play, and let's take a look at it one more time.
Well, he really didn't have anybody to throw to. It looked like everybody turned around, and arguably he did have, he was covered, but grabbing a lot of jersey.
Grabbing a lot of jersey, but I think the ball was thrown well behind the wide receiver, so they couldn't call the infraction there.
Yeah, sometimes you get away with those.
You would know all about that. You would know all about that.
I'm glad he didn't throw the flag. Me being a defensive player in my whole career, I'm glad.
End-over-end kick is going to come to rest at the 38-yard line, and that's where Alcorn State will take over, and a little extra rustling out there.
Well, they want to throw the football. Jackson State wants to throw the football, but they just can't have enough time for Matthews to set up and throw the ball. Guys are in his face. Sometimes guys are open, but Alcorn has been doing a real good job of getting to the quarterback.
Well, I mentioned earlier that this is the season finale for Jackson State, but for Alcorn State, they've got to make up a game December 3rd against Grambling, and Grambling's rated in the top 15 in Division I AA. It's a game that was rescheduled from early in September because of the hurricane, so still Alcorn State's got another game to play. And Grambling is good. I've had Grambling this year. I tell you what, they have that. Bruce Eugene is a fantastic quarterback. Now here goes McCoy straight up the middle with a head of steam. He breaks a couple of tackles all the way out to the midfield stripe. And right there it'll be a 1st down and 10 for the Braves. And right now while we got a chance, let's take a look at the SWAC standings. There you see Alcorn State. If they hold on to this lead, they'll move to 6-4 overall, 5-3 in league play. Jackson State, you see Grambling State undefeated in the West. So Grambling still has a lot to lose on December 3rd.
Well, they got to keep it going. We did that game together, actually. We were Grambling State versus
Arkansas Pine Bluff.
We got to see Bruce Eugene light up the scoreboard. But actually, I think Pine Bluff did a real good job that game. They did a real good job of keeping Bruce Eugene off the football field.
It was a good job by Arkansas Pine Bluff, but Bruce Eugene fantastic on the run that time for Alcorn State. Big number 35, Ken Williams. Now it's all about running clock.
Well, you got a 10-point lead. You're exactly right, Coach. You got a 10-point lead. Run the football. Let's not throw the ball, not unless we have to. Situations. That's why Alcorn State should be thinking.
Well, 2nd down and 8, just inside of Tigers territory. The sun is starting to go down here in Mississippi as we get into the late afternoon. And Hobson will hand off to McCoy again, trying to find a couple of holes. Can't do it. Stacked up there nice. Well, still on his feet, but I think the play was actually blown dead. McCoy stopped for no gain, and it'll bring up a long 3rd down and 9. They need to get to the 40 to get a first.
Throw those corners on the island. They're doing a real good job by putting 9 guys in the box to try to stop the run. Because I tell you what, Mr. Jeremy McCoy has been playing real good. He's been playing some real good football on the ground.
I will be anxious to see the final numbers when this game is over of Jeremy McCoy, because here's a guy, he's big, he's strong, and it's obvious to me, and I think to everybody else if you're watching at home, that he just wears down a defense. And when you got Kenny Williams back there lugging around about 270, hitting people in the head, then you understand why Jeremy McCoy gets all those big holes. Well, now Hobson back on 3rd down. He's got a man wide open. Oh, but dropped over there. Very un-Spiller-like. Charlie Spiller drops the ball going across the middle. Incomplete. It'll bring up a 4th down and a punting situation for Alcorn State.
Well, if he would have caught that ball on the run, he would have still been running right now as we're still talking. But that's something that you don't see too often. Mr. Spiller dropping the football. But, you know, he is human.
Well, Cletus Gordon is back to receive the punt.
Cletus! Come on, Cletus!
Cletus, where you been? Cletus Gordon, who has played a lot more today on defense than we thought he would with that injury. And nearly blocked. A beautiful punt is going to land inside the 10. We'll see if Alcorn State can down it there, and they do. Beautiful coverage for the Braves, and it was down the inside of the 5 at the 4.
Great play by Ashton Burton by hitting the ball, tapping the ball back in the play.
Well,
great play.
Jackson State is going to have a long way to go. 96 yards to pay dirt. They trail by 10 here in the 4th. Jackson State will take over at their own 4. A long way to go, trailing by 10 here in this 4th quarter. 10 minutes remaining.
Coach. Backed up again, Coach.
Backed up against their own goal line alongside Ray Buchanan. I am Jonathan Coach. We're so pleased you could join us here this afternoon on a beautiful yet very chilly afternoon at the Capital City Classic.
They're taking the chance right here, Coach.
Well, throwing it deep outside and nearly intercepted, and actually it was, but the defender was out of bounds, and beautifully done. Terrence Matthews, and now they're saying it is. They're saying Bradford indeed got 1 foot in, and Daryl Jones is livid on the sidelines, maybe as mad as we've seen him all day, and they're saying that Bradford from Alcorn State Kenny Bradford got the interception at the 30, and just like that, Alcorn State will take over again.
We got to see this under review. Let's see if his feet stays in bounds, because it's a great, if it is, it's a great interception. 1 foot,
yes,
got 1 foot in.
Sure enough, did. Great slow-mo, guys. That left foot came down before the right one did. Take a look at it one more time. The catch, the left foot, and nice officiating, guys. Very, very nice. So Alcorn State will take over at the 30. Coach Jones, if he can see that replay,
he'll probably take everything he said.
He wouldn't be that mad. He wouldn't be that mad. Hand off to McCoy.
He was furious.
And again, Alcorn State going to try to run some clock inside of 10 minutes now. Take one more look, and I tell you what a fantastic play by Kenny Bradford.
That was a great play. You look for defenders to turn around and look for the ball all the time. Defensive backs just don't do it nowadays. But this guy right here just showed up. He just proved me wrong. Turning around, looking back for the football, and make a great interception. In the pros, that might not have been, you got to get 2 feet in.
Well, now there's been a flag thrown on the play. It's going to be
for one of the defense. Both players are ejected from the remainder of the game.
Okay.
On that last play, there was a scuffle that you didn't get to see on camera, and Carlton Brown from Jackson State has been thrown out, and we'll see who was thrown out from Alcorn State. Double personal fouls.
You never want to see that, Coach. You never want to see your players thrown out of the game no matter what. I guess the refs actually saw something that flagrant to throw the players out. This is the last game, let the players play. You're going to get heated.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a very heated rivalry over the years, no doubt about that. I know all the players were anxious to get onto the field, and today they played very, very hard at times. It hasn't been pretty. A lot of turnovers, a lot of mistakes, but certainly you don't want to jeopardize getting thrown out of the game on a stupid penalty. It was just dumb because it was a 1-yard run, and 2 guys get thrown out of the game. So nevertheless, it's going to bring up 2nd down and 9. Did not affect the result of the play, and we are inside of 10 minutes. And now you can see the frustration starting to set in on the Jackson State sideline.
Well, now they're in scoring position once again. Now, after that turnover, here they are sitting on the 27, 28-yard line.
Well, Jeremy McCoy over 100 yards now, a very hard-fought 100 yards. And he stays on his feet inside the 20, all the way down to the 16. Finally taken down there by Maurice Hartnett, but not before. Enough yardage for a 1st down, and now Alcorn State knocking on the door again, trying to put the final knockout blow to the Tigers.
Jeremy McCoy is getting hot. He's already been hot, but right now he's boiling. That was a nice little pitch. He's boiling? He's boiling. He's boiling over right now.
Is that how they say it in Hotlanta?
Hotlanta, boiling. What do you say, boiling?
Yeah, you know me. That's how I say it. And Coach Jones, you can see right there, is boiling over with emotion right now. Yeah, Jones is still livid about the interception call, and now another flag's been thrown.
Conduct on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Well, it's going to be 1st down, but let's take a look at Jeremy McCoy, we knew that he was going to be a big-time factor, and that's exactly what he has been.
Yeah, he's been coming up with a lot of big plays. You know, they letting him pick and choose when they want to run the ball with him. And he's a big fella. He's going down there making things happen. You got to give credit to the offensive line. These guys are getting down the football field. You see as a wide receiver, tight ends down the football field blocking, and he's doing the rest. He's getting extra yards.
Well, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was on the Braves, and it moved it back 15 yards, but it was a dead ball penalty. So, actually, I think they have the down wrong because it was a first down, so it was dead ball penalty. It should be first down and 25. So hopefully they can figure that out. But there's going to be a timeout on the field, and Coach Thomas is trying to explain just that to them. They made the first down. You're walking back 15, but we'll see if they can figure it out. 9:07 to go here in this fourth quarter, and things are, well, Ray, to be quite frank, starting to unravel.
It's starting to unravel.
For everybody.
For everybody. Coaches getting furious, players getting upset, referees getting upset, they throwing flags.
Well, while the referee explains things to Coach Thomas, we ask you, do you live for college football? CSTV All Access College Football is your ticket to all the action this season. Listen more than 800 live games and watch streaming press conferences. See exclusive athlete features, coaches shows, and more, all on your computer. CSTV All Access College Football is the best way to stay on top of every down. Log on to CSTV.com to subscribe.
I guess we're next to get upset. The fans gonna start getting upset.
Hey, the only thing I'm getting upset about today is the lady that wouldn't let me in the parking lot when I told her I was doing the game.
If you fans would know how hard it was for your TV announcers being coached to get into this game, they abused their authority.
They're almost going to have the radio guys call the game because we couldn't get in today. But we got in and everything's cool. So here we go. We're back to action. Second down now and 25. So a handoff to Jeremy McCoy. And he finds a hole and he stumbles inside the 25 down to the 23. So whatever explanation the referee gave to Coach Thomas, he's living with it. And it'll bring up a third down and long. Yeah, I'm not even hard, but I still can't figure it out. They moved the chains and then gave him second down. So whatever. We're going to stick with it. They're calling it down the field. So third down and about 15. They need to get all the way down to the 7 for a first down.
Well, Jackson State need one of those miracle plays to come through for them right now. You know, it's 24-14. They still in this game. But if Alcorn get down here and score a field goal, now you're grinding at your teeth to try to score on Jackson State's side of the ball.
Sure is. Clock continues to run. Third down and 15. And the ball is on the ground. And Jackson State, I believe, was able to fall on the ball. We'll see. And indeed, another turnover. Another turnover.
You keep speaking of it.
Brother, I tell you what. Hobson was trying to call his own number, and he fumbled. Jackson State recovers, and so there's the break they needed. Down 10, they've got the ball at their own 33 with a chance to get back on the board.
We just spoke this up. Every time we do it, we talk about a play happening. Hobson actually fumbles the ball. Great play by the defense, getting the penetration in the backfield. One guy had the quarterback, another guy had the running back. They didn't have anybody to open in the backfield, and here we go. We just talked about Jackson State coming through with making a play, and they make another miracle play.
Well, here we go. First down and 10 for Jackson State. Terrence Matthews still in there at quarterback. He's going to roll to the right, still looking for a receiver. He'll throw to his short receiver. A nice pitch and catch is still on his feet. Complete there to his big tight end. That's number 82, Kenneth Davis. And a gain of about 10. I think they're going to give him just enough for a first down, and they are indeed going to move the chains.
Mr. McLaren is back. Mr. McLaren is back. So maybe he could give them a little spark out there on the football field. You know, they haven't had anything happen with Terrence Matthews, so maybe Mr. McLaren can actually help these guys out.
Keithon McLaren started this ball game but hasn't seen too much action the last couple of quarters. But it is a first down and 10 at their own 43. McLaren will roll to his left. He throws to Davis again. And a gain of about 5 to the big tight end. A tight end they haven't used too much today, but they've thrown it to him a few times when they have. He looks like he has good hands and good feet.
Well, he's sitting wide open. They're just running a simple little rollout play to the left. He has 3 receivers to choose from. The tight end is closest to him. It's the easier throw, so he's been making the nice little throw there to Kenneth.
Well, being down 10 inside of 7.5 minutes here to go in the fourth quarter, really needing to start to speed things up. Second down and a long 4 for the Tigers. They're going to run the option, and now a pitch back to Rogers. He's going to try the right side. He passes midfield, gets down to about the 48, a gain of maybe 3. Out of bounds there. The clock does stop. It'll bring a 3rd down and 1 for the Tigers. Well, you're watching Football Nation on CSTV. It's the Capital City Classic, the 60th meeting between Alcorn State and Jackson State here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, alongside Ray Buchanan, former Pro Bowl defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yay.
I am Jonathan Coachman, and it has been a chilly, fun, eventful, weird afternoon here in the SWAC. And what a shot! What a shot, and you would guess it, Antonio Cooper shot in there, hit Rogers behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 2, and there is no decision here. You have to go for it.
Got to go for it. He laid the smack on the running back there. Mr. Cooper came in and just blasted the running back, blasted Kennebrew.
We've been calling Cooper's name all afternoon. He's one of the guys that Coach Thomas said we needed to watch this afternoon, and indeed he has come up big time and time again. 4th down and 4 from the 49-yard line. McLaren trying to keep this drive going for Jackson State, but it got blown up in the backfield, and McLaren goes nowhere, and he is stuck for a sack, and Alcorn State will take it over on downs, and guess who? Orrin Long, Antonio Cooper, time and time again, and that may have just shut the door on the chances for the Tigers.
Orrin Long and Mr. Cooper was not fooled on this play. They ran the same play over and over, so this is a great play, a great call by the defensive coordinator to send the blitz to that open side to where they've been rolling out to. That was very smart.
Carl Harris, number 55, was the first man in there for the Braves. So now with 6:24 to go, Alcorn State and Tony Hobson will try and chew the rest of this clock up. And Jackson State, you got to say, has had their opportunities, but have not been able to capitalize. They hand it off to their big fullback, Kenny Williams, a gain of about 1. And right now, let's take a look at the Xbox Live big play replay. And we go back to the touchdown, the tip drill by Mr. Arsenault.
Emmanuel Arsenault come through in the clutch to get this team up by 10 points. Nice catch, nice concentration. Way to finish. That's what I like more than anything. Just because the ball was in the air thrown to one receiver, the other receiver came through, made a clutch play.
Emmanuel Arsenault, 32 yards on that tipped catch for the touchdown. At the time, it was 17-14, so that was certainly the play that has turned this game around. And now there's been a timeout on the field. Player was down, so we're going to take a quick break too. Alcorn State leads by 10 late in the 4th. CSTV Football Nation has been brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. And also by Xbox Live. It's good to play together. And by Sirius Satellite Radio. Want more than just radio? Get Sirius Satellite Radio. And we are back, and we are serious about finishing this 4th quarter. Alcorn State up 10. 5:56 to go here in the 4th quarter. You're looking at Coach Darrell Jones, the interim head coach for Jackson State. And Jackson State losers of 6 in a row. And it appears it's going to be 7 to end this very, very disappointing season. And it's obviously going to be a rebuilding situation here at Jackson State that has a storied program. They've been very, very good in the past. But right now they've got a lot of work to do, Ray.
Got a bit of rebuilding. Why not have a little process? You know, now Darrell Jones, the coach, can actually start finding players to fit his personality. That's if he gets the job.
Right.
And gets to keep the job next year.
Well, 2nd down and 9 for Alcorn State. The handoff back to McCoy, and he finds some room. He's going to break it to the right side, inside the 20, and pushed out of bounds at about the 19. And McCoy still looks very, very fresh. The Jackson State defense does not. And another 1st down for Alcorn State.
Well, the air is starting to get let out of Jackson State's defense now. They had so many opportunities. They're feeling down right now because they give them the ball back to the offense, I don't know how many times today, and they can't come away with the score. once again, and I guess that's sort of frustrating.
But I will say this. On behalf of Jackson State that, the coaches were worried about, with the record, how hard would they play? They came out, they played hard, and they've given it everything they had. It just wasn't quite enough here this afternoon. First down and 10, and now the ball's on the ground. Hobson fumbles it again. That has been the norm today as well on both sides of the football. So a loss of about 3, but the good thing for Alcorn State is the clock continues to run. Well, folks, emusic.com and Russell Athletic invite you to get 100 free music downloads when you purchase a minimum of $75 of Russell products from any HBCU college bookstore or online at buyhbcu.com. emusic.com, the #1 site for independent music.
Alcorn, and Hobson, he's been losing the ball a lot today. Giving the ball back to Jackson State. You talking about miracle plays. They've been giving them a lot of gifts.
Second down and 12 for the Braves. And the handoff again back to McCoy. And he again picks his spot, picks it, moves the fumble. The ball is on the ground and fumbled. And we'll see if they are calling McCoy down. The referee came in from the side judge, came in and ruled that McCoy was down.
I was just speaking about it, huh? We were just talking about them giving the ball up.
Well, let's take a look at it right now, McCoy. And McCoy's had a couple of fumbles today, and Hobson's had a couple of fumbles today. We'll see what happened here. Oh, and that ball looked like it came out just before the knee hit the ground. We'll take one more look at it. And
they need to review this. I wish they could have the opportunity.
Well, it's clutch. There's a bang-bang play, but you can see why they called him down. And
we got a better angle up here.
Exactly. Alcorn State keeps the ball. It'll bring up third down and about 3. And Coach Jones is still pleading his case. And over the course of the last 6 minutes, a couple of big calls have not gone the Tigers' way. Hobson keeps the ball now, calling his own number. He ducks inside the 10, gets hit very, very hard at the 9. But his forward progress might be enough for a first down, and it would be a first down and goal for the Braves.
Nice, tough play by the quarterback. Hobson rolling out that way and knowing that you're going to get hit. You want those guys. You're going to step on the football field with those guys any day, any Saturday.
Well, I'll say this. The freshman quarterback has been hit a lot today.
Yes, he has.
He's been hit hard today.
Yes, he has. This is not going to be the last either.
No.
I believe that.
No, he's been hit hard, but he continues to get up, and that's the name of the game inside of 3.5 minutes. As the clock winds down on the season for Jackson State, Alcorn State, one more game to play. Jeremy McCoy goes in untouched for the touchdown, putting a stamp on this game, and pending the extra point, Alcorn State set to go up 31-14, and what a game for Jeremy McCoy, number 29.
Great run, great hole. I can't wait to see this highlight again because that hole was so big. That offensive line created for him. It was so big. Jonathan Coachman, you could have ran through that hole.
Oh, wait a second. Well, Jeremy McCoy, you see, he's already had one touchdown. Oh, look at that hole right there. Beautiful blocking.
He could have walked through. But the thing that he did here at the end, he had a little celebration. He had to get a celebration in. They're up by a substantial margin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
But the coach, and your teammates, you're still risking the fact that you got a penalty, and that penalty will actually come probably on the kickoff.
I don't know which one was easier, the shovel pass in the first half that Jeremy McCoy scored on, or the run right there. Lots of big holes for the stud running back for Alcorn State. This one's all but in the bag. Alcorn State leads by 17. We're back. The Capital City Classic winding down. That man right there has been the man of the day, Jeremy McCoy. Just scored his second touchdown of the day, putting Alcorn State up 31-14, 3:18 to go here in this fourth quarter. And you mentioned the celebration after the touchdown, and because of that celebration, they have assessed a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty on Alcorn State. They will kick off from their 20 is where Shea will kick off from. And again, all afternoon long, they've been kicking that squib kick. This time we'll be taking at the 45 and trying a little trickeration and pitch back to Cletus Gordon. He'll be taken down at the 49. So the fans are starting to head for the exits.
Elvis is starting to leave the building, folks.
So we had a very, very good crowd. Capacity in the stadium is 62,000. And they just handed me the unofficial attendance, Ray. And they're telling me there was a lot of people here today.
A lot of people here.
That's the number I got.
That was the number you got.
It had to be somewhere in
There's a lot of people stopping.
Yeah, exactly. In the 30,000 range, I would guess. But a fantastic crowd. Got to watch the Church's battle of the bands. And for most of this game, a very closely contested game.
Well, they have
now an incomplete pass, and it'll bring up second down for Jackson State.
They've had plenty of opportunities in this game to win. You know, they got a future. You think about Jackson State, they do have a future, you know, with this organization, with this team. Will they get it done? They got to get it fixed quick and in a hurry, and it's going to start in the off-season program. Getting guys in to come in and work out, getting guys in to come in shape, getting a great group of guys when it comes to the recruiting. They need to go out and get them several guys to go out there and help them out in the recruiting area.
Well, as for Alcorn State, they will secure their fourth straight winning season under Coach Thomas. And a complete pass out there. Good for about 6 yards. And Jackson State in their hurry up. And that pass hauled in by Byron Johnson.
Well, it's not salvaged yet, Coach. It's not salvaged yet. They can still go out here and not give up and go out here and try to get in the end zone.
I love
have a little pride. You got to have some pride.
You got to. I thought you might, 17 points in 2.5 minutes. You're very, very optimistic. But that's what I love about you, your attitude.
You got to have good attitude. I would hope the rest of the players out there on Jackson State offense is trying to do the same thing. You think about their defense, you got to take your hat off to the defense. They went out there and made a lot of plays, made a lot of good things happen. Also on the special teams, made some good things happen. But they also had a lot of mistakes on both sides of the ball. But to the advantage of Alcorn State, they're up 31-14, so the penalties don't hurt them as much as it is going to do the Jackson State.
Well, now they've made another mistake on what down it is. It actually should be fourth down. There you go. They made the change now. Should be fourth down and 3 as the clock continues to run inside of 2 minutes. Here in this ball game, 31-14. Alcorn State is on top, and they will move to 6-4 in the year. And a run up the middle to Rogers. He will have enough for the first down inside of the 35. The clock will stop there as they reset the chains. And oh no, well, Rogers is down.
Hey, I tell you what, Mr. Carl Harris came up and laid a shamak on him. A shamak. I mean, he really got hit. I mean, he really didn't see him. He blindsided him coming in from his left side.
Obviously, you hope that it's nothing serious with only, a minute and some change left in the final game of the season. But while we've got a chance, I can tell you that coming up, it's live coverage of the NCAA Division I Field Hockey Championship from Tager Field on the campus of the University of Louisville. Will Wake Forest win their 4th title in a row, or will somebody slay the mighty champion? It's NCAA Division I Field Hockey Championship Sunday at 12:30 on CSTV.
University of Louisville, my alma mater.
Somebody's going to take down the mighty champion. Somebody will.
Pull through Louisville. Pull through. Oh, man, this looks kind of serious. They're actually carrying him off the field. That's not a good sign. Well, hopefully he's okay, especially at the end of the game. You don't want to have any setbacks.
Yeah, certainly don't want that. Olandis Rogers being carried off, and we are back to game action. Clock now resumes, and oh wow, McLaren is sacked back there by the big boy, number 98, Robert Brown, got in there to sack him back at the 45-yard line. And
well, he just beat Dimitri Dunn. I mean, he got in the backfield. Look, watch number 63, Dimitri Dunn. He's trying to hold him, but the big fella just got in the backfield and made the quarterback pay for it.
The Braves are still playing with a lot of energy. Coach Thomas is worried about that. How would they be able to focus? And it hasn't been a pretty victory, but they have scored 31. They have got the job done. And, sometimes at the end of the day, Ray, that's all that matters.
When you get the job done, just like I said earlier, the penalties doesn't matter. All of the fumbles doesn't matter. Everything that you did wrong to try to help lose the game actually turned out good for you now that you're winning. So everybody's going to go home with a good taste in their mouth. and not worry about that. They start talking about the better plays, all the good plays that happen during the game, not the bad ones.
3rd down and 20 for Jackson State from the Braves 45. McLaren still in the shotgun. Can't find anybody. Flags fly everywhere. He does escape the pocket, but I think this one's going to come back.
You know, the reason why this might come back, because once the quarterback goes back to start scrambling, your offensive guards and tackles, they don't know what the quarterback's doing, but they do feel that the defensive linemen are shifting on them. So when you start shifting, they start grabbing jersey to hold on to, you know, their guy who they're blocking. So you can't really blame the offense for holding. You see several flags back there, so it was more than one person holding.
Well, I'll tell you what, it has been a
previous spot. We will replay 3rd down.
As you can see, as he get the ball back here, now everybody's engaged. But watch on the left side there. Well, we couldn't quite see it, but there was a lot of grabbing of the jersey.
I think there's a lot of guys out there that are tired right now. I think there's a lot of guys out there that just want this one to be over.
Flag on Albert Stinson.
So now 3rd down and a mile. And the handoff to the up back and all kinds of room. And inside of the 40, Jeremy Kitchens gets a lot of it back. It'll bring up a 4th down and about 11 as the clock continues to run. About a half a minute to go here in the season of Jackson State and Alcorn State. They will head back home with a victory, a 6-4 record, and they'll get ready for a very, very potent 8-1, 7-0 in SWAC play Grambling State team with one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Now going down the sideline, it's completed. There's a flag down on the play, and it's completed down there to Byron Johnson. So
I'm thinking, I wonder, Coach, did he go out of bounds and then come back in?
That may be the call, and if that is the call, Ray, that would be a fitting ending to the way this game has gone. Johnson may have gone out of bounds, and you cannot be the first player to touch the ball when you come back inbounds.
Illegal touching on the offense. Loss of down. Ball goes over and down.
Well, let's take a look at it one more time. As the last play for Jackson State, Byron Johnson stepped out of bounds right there. You clearly see it. Try to come back inbounds. You can't do that. You lose loss of down, and so Alcorn State will take over with just a few seconds left in this rivalry, the Capital City Classic, the 60th meeting between these two teams and the 3rd straight win for the Braves.
Well, hard-fought game, man. Well, hard-fought game by Jackson State. But hey, all you do is just, you dust your shoulders off. You just say, oh well. I mean, penalties killed Jackson State. Turnovers killed them.
Well, there's going to be one more snap. One more snap here for the Braves, and right now there's some jawing going on. I don't know what's going on down the field, but one more snap, and this game will be in the books.
Unfortunately, there goes another flag.
Another flag being thrown. This is getting borderline ridiculous. I mean,
hey, Coach,
what?
The refs.
Well, right now, while we have a chance, the serious player of the game. Who else is it going to be? Jeremy McCoy, 2 touchdowns today, 1 rushing, 1 receiving, over 100 yards rushing on the ground, and just an all-out great effort by that young man. And that mercifully will be the last snap of the game. But Jeremy McCoy, we talked about it. He had a fantastic game. Let's take it back.
Take it out. Here goes McCoy right here on the nice little shovel play. McCoy scores right there, untouched. Nobody touched him. He wouldn't have the ice none. They go to the 2nd touchdown here. Gaping holes created by the offensive line. And that was another touchdown there. Now check out the little dance there by McCoy.
Well,
flag thrown.
Got the flag, but didn't really care.
Oh, well, 31-14.
But 18-yard touchdown, then a 5-yard touchdown run. And number 29, Jeremy McCoy, as good as advertised here this afternoon. And Jackson State, a game effort for a team that was struggling when they came in. But there's your final. Alcorn State beats Jackson State 31-14. We'll come back with more from Jackson on Football Nation.
And when they subscribe, you'll collect your reward. Go to directtv.com for details.
We are back. There you see the trophy given to the winner of the Capital City Classic. It will go to Alcorn State here this afternoon, 31-14 winners over Jackson State. Alongside Ray Buchanan, I am Jonathan Coachman. And right now, let's take a look at the drive of the game brought to you by Volkswagen. We're going to take a look at that in just a moment. But right now, they're doing the trophy presentation. There you see the serious player of the game. Jeremy McCoy, over 100 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns.
More than deserving. More than deserving. He had a great game today. Great game.
I tell you what, this is always a, obviously you played at Louisville. I played in college. And whenever you have senior day or your last game, it's never easy. It's never easy, no matter what time you take that jersey off for the very, very last time. All right, now it is time to look at the drive of the game brought to you by Volkswagen, and it's all about Jeremy McCoy. When they're up 24-14 in the fourth, he really put the stamp on it.
He definitely put a stamp. He put a stamp all on Jackson State, too. That was a great run, as you see right there. Here goes another run right here. This is the gaping hole. I mean, he's a big fella getting down the football field. Now here goes the touchdown play.
The 8-yard touchdown. Nobody touched him. It was all McCoy all the time in the fourth quarter. That put them up by 17, and that pretty much sealed the deal. And Jeremy McCoy, your player of the game, congratulations to him. Congratulations to Alcorn State. They improved to 6-4 as they get ready for Grambling. We're going to take one more break. We are in Jackson, Mississippi. Alcorn wins by 17. We'll be back.
For instant access to all of the latest college football news, scores, highlights, and analysis, bookmark CSTV.com.
And we are back. Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. Final score, Alcorn State 31-14. This has been Football Nation on CSTV. And Ray, we just got a couple of minutes left. Your final thoughts on the entire day. You see the bands there. They were fantastic.
Band was fantastic. You know, you think about Jackson State, Alcorn State, a great game. It was close throughout the whole game, right up until the very end there. That's when Alcorn State decided to pull away. But Movo, I thought Jackson State had an opportunity to win this game. They had turnovers. Alcorn State had turnovers. Minimized more on the other side of the ball with Alcorn State. They dictated the game.
Your final impressions of Jeremy McCoy?
Very good running back. Today he looked stellar. Today he looked like he could play on the next level. Got that Eric Dickerson style of running. Then he sort of reminded me of Eric Dickerson with the neck roll, then wearing his socks up real high, wearing number 29. So I just truly believe that Jeremy McCoy, he's going to remember this game.
Well, I tell you what, he is Ray Buchanan. I'm the much better looking Jonathan Coachman, but we appreciate you staying with us all afternoon long. Alcorn State wins by 17. Ray Buchanan, it was fun. Always is fun, my friend.
It was definitely fun. It was another great game. Won it for the record books, buddy.
All right, man. Our final score, 31-14. Alcorn State is your winner. For Ray Buchanan, I'm Jonathan Coachman and our entire CSTV crew. For more, log on to CSTV.com, the ultimate destination for scores, news, highlights, and analysis. This has been a presentation of CSTV, College Sports Television, #1 in college sports. So long from Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium in Jackson, Mississippi. Thanks for watching Football Nation on CSTV.